Oh, damn it.
So I'm hoping this will start a trend where we all do this all the time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Just send each other sort of mystery gifts that we open live.
Just thoughtful little keepsakes, Something says I'm thinking about you. I'm a friend and I love you.
Some says I'm thinking about you. I bought a Red Bull. I bought a Red Bull for two reasons. One, I'm just really tired because it's been a tough day.
Right.
And two, because
are you tired, Chris?
Because I have been speculating. I'm confused. Why?
Because Scott's been up for like 49 hours straight now.
Yeah, I've been up for like.
Don't do that.
I've been up for like 24 hours right now.
Don't diminish my time. Mine's a mental tired. Okay.
Are you insinuating that I didn't have a night full of mental anguish last night, Chris? You know what I did last night.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have to confess something, and I'm going to do it way out of turn because I should wait until later. But when I tuned in this morning and was seeing your progress, when I saw the part you were getting to, the emotional part, I started grabbing screen grabs of you and sending them to Derek, and I was like, look, emotion. I sent like 4 pictures of you in various states. Like there's like one like this. Yeah, and then there's one like this.
There's one where you're wiping your eyes, literally. You're like this.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
I know. I'm fucking things up. I'm very excited. We are incredibly late this week, and we have 2 super exciting things to do. Normally, we just kind of ramble until something funny happens. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, boys. We hit record and funny shit happens. Okay?
It's true.
Lately, I've had to trim so little off the top. It's giving me a big ego. But this time is going to be a little different because Scott sent me a present. And we're recording so late in the week. And I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'll have to describe it to you. We were recording so late in the week that I've been looking at this fucking thing for like a week and a half. Yeah. And these guys know that I'm the kid at Christmas who's like shaking every box and trying to like. So this looks very like coffee mug shaped box, right? Like I'm not crazy to think this is probably a mug.
Maybe. Why don't you shut the fuck up and open the box, Chris?
I cut the tape preemptively because I don't want to struggle on camera a weakling and show everybody my fucking muscles. Mm-hmm. All right, so packing slip. It's definitely a coffee mug. Let's see what it says. Oh, no, it's packaged really fucking well. Okay. All right, let's see. It's a coffee mug, and it says, "Don't talk to me until I've had an entire cup full of gum." Oh, yes! Entire cup full of gum. Did Derek know that I was getting this?
Oh yeah, I did.
I sent him screenshots of what I found on Etsy.
He actually like tracked down. He's like, "Is it weird if I ask this chick if she still has the cum cup?" I was like, "You gotta ask her."
Yeah, this girl who I've been secretly in love with for years posted that cup on her Instagram story. And I like legit hit her up. I was like, "Yo, like I need to get one of those." I didn't specify who it was from though, so she probably thinks I'm just stoked to drink gallons of jizz now.
Hey, where'd you get the cum cup from?
He also was like, he texted me. He's like, "Just so you know, I'm telling Chris that I'm sending you something too, so he doesn't get suspicious." So I was like, "All right."
I have to do this while we're recording because I'm a bag of shit. I want to post that to our Twitter later.
Yeah, you might want to watch that before we put Red Bull in it, though. God knows what was in it before.
Oh no! Luckily, I specifically brought a wet paper towel up with me because I was like, "What if I want to use it right away?" It was like, "Don't. It's fucking gross." And I'm like, "I'm just gonna wipe it." So I'm gonna wipe it anyway. While I'm wiping this mug out, so I can pour fresh hot Coombs into it. We have other very exciting news that finally happened.
We do.
I would love to say that the internet did it, but you guys didn't.
You guys didn't do shit.
We fucking did it.
Pretty much 100% of the work.
Yeah.
If you already follow us on Twitter at that old weird redheaded stepchild of a handle, the Schmeg Nerd, you would notice that we have gotten our fucking Twitter handle, boys.
Chris sucked the other guy's dick for it. That's really what happened behind there.
How do you think I'm filling up this cup of coon right now?
I would say us getting our Twitter handle is on par with the second coming of Christ. It's pretty big stuff, guys.
If you've been watching, we've already just a deluge of mommy memes from Lady D in Resident Evil 8, which we're all very excited to talk about today.
I was going to say, for some reason, like getting that name back just inspired us all to finally start being active on the fucking Twitter after 6 months.
People are like, what the fuck is this schmeg? People are like, who is this? But now when they see the shit post, and they know.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
Now they know. Now they know it's real.
They know this Coombs are coming.
No one else would post this many cum jokes. It's got to be the guys.
Yeah. It's got to be the fellas.
So, shout out to, and I'm sorry, I told this guy if he listened that I would do this before we made all the cum and fart jokes because I wanted to be an adult. Didn't have to listen through it, wade through all the cum and fart jokes. But James,
that's a horrible mental picture. Wading through cum.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the trash compactor in the first Star Wars movie, except it's just cum.
Yeah,
yeah. There's not even a robot in there to scare you. It's just cum because it's scary.
Right.
I told James I would say thank you. I appreciate it, man. He was very nice about it. I found contact info for the site that had the handle. Emailed him. I waited about 6 weeks because we got caught in a spam filter, and then it was easy enough. He was a fucking gentleman about it. So, chef's kiss to you, sir.
Yeah. All jokes aside, you did show me like those aside. You did show me like the conversation you had with him. Real cool guy. Real class act. Very, very much appreciate that. Because personally, if I had a position of just even a tiny little bit of power like that, I would absolutely use it to make you do weird shit for me to give up the Twitter handle. So thank you, James. We love you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Man. I mean, and he means cool guy, like actual cool guy, not like when Tom Segura calls somebody a cool guy.
Yeah, no. This is like a legit cool guy.
He's a cool guy. Boys, I think that's it for the pre-roll, right? So let's dive in because I'm very excited.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Cynical Nerd. My name is Chris. I'm joined today by my boys for life, my homeboys.
Your bullies.
Derek, my bullies, my woolly bullies, Derek and Scott. I'm going to call this episode Thirsty for the record, because we are going to thirst so hard after Lady Demetra, however you say it, Demetrescu.
I like the way you said it. That was good.
I feel like that's it. Yeah.
But I have to hold it for a second. Demetra.
And wiggle your neck like that too every time.
Speaking of horrible French accents, you kind of sound like Pepe the King Prawn.
Oh, true, I do.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah,
Derek, red Solo Cup. Derek, how are you doing today?
Good. It's Alka-Seltzer in here, just for my just shitty bad stomach. I'm doing good. I'm gonna keep. Not that we don't have a lot of really, really great stuff to cover today. This is actually a lot of news happened this week. I'm going to keep all my responses. I'm going to try to keep them all under 1 minute, simply because I just want to get to Resident Evil 8. I have a lot to say about it. I had a lot of fucking fun with it. I
can't wait to hear you talk about it. I
just can't wait to get to it. So I'm ready to do it.
Awesome. Scott, how are you doing on this lovely day?
I've been up for about 24 hours now.
That's not lovely.
I actually feel surprisingly good. Like it's almost like back in the day when I used to take Adderall. But I'm just high on life, boys. It's great.
Just running clean energy.
And I like to say that I think this is going very well so far. About as smooth as an Elon Musk prologue, right?
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Sorry, monologue.
Musk.
Yo, can we talk about how he bombed so hard on SNL that Doge dropped 25 cents over the course of an hour? What a fucking horrific SNL that was.
I literally it jumped to 70, and in the time I had my phone in front of me, jumped to 70 cents, and in the time I turned around and looked right at Ron and said, "It's at 70 cents," and went right back. It was at 48 cents. So it was like, holy shit, what the fuck happened?
I used to think Elon Musk was like the cool billionaire, but now I realize he's just a big old butt munch.
He is, how the kids say, a bag of dicks. I think that's what kids say, right? Kids say that?
Probably one of the things they say, I would imagine.
Does a 100% spot on Wario though, right?
Oh, that picture was actually pretty funny. I didn't watch the skit.
It wasn't good. SNL hasn't been funny for like 15 years, but they're trying.
Bad.
Yeah, they're trying.
Hang on, though.
Wario's a good idea.
The Mayor of Easttown bit was fucking hilarious, though. You murdered my daughter.
You posted the skit.
Did I stir her?
Murder daughter. But we have to be honest here. Beck Bennett did all the heavy lifting on that one with the fucking mustache. Beck Bennett's fake mustache did all the heavy lifting on that bit.
Yeah, but how did the fucking SNL cast members do the Delco accent better than the fucking cast on Mayor of Easttown?
I don't know.
Like,
I think it's probably because they've been to Philadelphia before.
Yeah.
Caitlin's just like, why do I have to be here? Like, why am I here? What's a
All right,
hoagie?
boys.
Hoagie. I'm gonna take you to Riddle. You want something from Coco's? Like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You're an actor.
A
right, boys.
thespian, if you will.
I'm going to start crushing through these weekend
I
review
saw her
topics
titties
so we
once,
can,
you know.
so we can get crushed by
Titanic.
so we can get crushed by Mommy Dumpire. I don't know how you guys feel about the Muppets, but I fucking love them, and I unironically was super excited about this piece of news. There's a new Muppets Halloween special.
Every time there's
Us.
Muppets news, you start off with, I don't know how you guys feel about the Muppets, but I really like it.
Yeah. Is there anybody out there who fucking hates the Muppets? Like, is there anybody out there who fucking hates the Muppets, do you think?
Oh, boy. I'm sorry. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I've seen people who prefer the Sesame Street, which are also called Muppets, by the way. I didn't know that. Apparently,
real-
anything created by
It's a real
Jim Henson
Crips
Studio.
Bloods rivalry there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of bad blood.
My son seems to like Sesame Street, so that means I'm going to have to kill him.
Would that make Fraggle Rock the Latin Kings?
Yes, it would. Oh, man, I fucking love Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, same, man.
Muppets Haunted Mansion Halloween special coming to Disney Plus this fall. Look, it's going to come to Disney Plus and be free. They're not going to charge extra for it like they are for every other new fucking release. And I'm super excited. Gonzo and Pepe the King Prawn that Scott just mentioned are in this announcement trailer. I always found them hilarious. Like Gonzo's weird fucking obsession with chickens. I don't like, he fucks them, right?
Yeah, he's fucking that chicken. Yeah.
Gotta be.
That chicken's seen more abuse than a chicken in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, right? Like it's real bad back there.
He's fucked and killed more chickens than I've just killed chickens in Resident Evil 8. Far more.
Do you think he's the John Wayne Gacy of chickens? Is it safe to say?
I would say at least the John Wayne Gacy of chickens.
But maybe more of a Dahmer because he's fucking them and eating them, probably. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like a twofold
Yeah.
aspect
Which raises the
at play
question:
there.
what kind of serial killer would Fozzie Bear be? Moving on, right? Next topic.
Anyway,
Put the lotion in the basket. Waka waka. That's what I imagine.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I don't know why that was Pee Wee Herman. I don't know why it was Pee Wee Herman.
it worked though. It really
Because Pee Wee Herman's also a serial killer. Fun fact.
It's also easy to picture Pee Wee Herman tucking his penis between his legs.
He's a
and
serial
coming at you
comer.
forcefully. Yeah.
I would imagine that. I mean,
Serial comer might. Well, I know we can't put cum in the title.
We've
That's a
talked
cum
about
tender.
this. There's been enough
Serious
cum
cum
in the
tender
title.
right there.
oh no.
Pretty good.
All right, boys. I mean, yeah, look, that's fine, right? It's fine news. It's acceptable news. There's nothing to be angry about. I think it's fun. There's no concrete date. It literally just says fall. So that's it. You want to move on? Cool. Let's
do it.
move on. Black Panther and the Captain Marvel sequels have official titles. This is so uneventful that I'm just going to read them, and you can tell me if you give a shit. Black Panther 2 is not going to be called Black Panther 2 Electric Boogaloo, as if it was what I think every sequel should be titled.
Yeah.
It's instead going to be titled Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Okay.
Sure.
The phrase was fine in the movie, but it's kind of cringy as a title to me. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, aren't almost all of the Marvel titles pretty cringy? You know, we're getting,
Yeah,
getting
but-
fucking
To me, this is like on par with like
Quantumania.
BVS.
Mania, yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't get
Yeah.
much worse than Quantumania. This
Yeah,
is true.
really.
Yeah.
Well, BVS Dawn of Justice was pretty fucking bad.
Like,
Yeah.
I love me some Paul Rudd. When it comes time to talk that shit on Quantumania, I'm gonna have to bite my tongue until it bleeds. we have to go real post-hardcore emo on you guys, boys. Some real, it dies today kind of bullshit, you know?
Consequently, the Captain Marvel sequel is just going to be called The Marvels. And that's because
How
we know
creative.
that that's because we know that Miss Marvel from the TV show that's coming out to Disney Plus is going to be featured in the sequel. And also, Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, who I thought was a pretty intriguing new character, is also going to be a part of it. So, I don't know. That one's actually slightly more exciting to me. Like, I didn't give a single shit about the first film, but like knowing that this Kamala Khan's coming, who's like literally a giant fangirl of Captain Marvel. So we get to see that kind of like, the intro to the Avengers game that was actually decent until you realize what the game was.
Mhm.
That kind of thing.
Kamala was
and
an awesome character in that, but yeah.
And we're gonna get a whole season of TV to flesh her character out before she's in this film. So, both of the supporting characters have more character development than Captain Marvel herself at that point, right?
Yeah.
So, sick. I'm all for that.
I was
Derek,
thinking
how do
about that before we move too far away from Captain Marvel. Like, what is her superpower other than that a plane blew up near her? Is that it? Is that like...
No, she can like control, I don't know, some kind of energy shit.
That's what I mean, though. But that's like the extent
Does
of
she
like...
harness the power of the
some
sun?
energy shit.
Or isn't she
No,
just
she
like...
doesn't.
Isn't she just like shitty Superman, basically?
Basically. And there's like some weird like
yeah.
power level discrepancy there where like she literally destroyed an entire fleet of ships at the end of Endgame, but then just kind of gets like backhanded by Thanos. It was like... And it just makes me think like, what's her
No,
power?
but you see, he had to take his Infinity Stone out and hold it to harness the power, so he could. Yeah.
Did you push your glasses up on your nose before you said that?
Derek, how do you feel about Brie Larson?
I got to be honest with you. I don't hate Brie Larson as much as everyone does.
Right.
I know. I know that like
Scott was
expected
fishing
of me at this point.
Threw the line out. He's like,
Trying to play my favorite game, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's got plenty of forehead for you to come on, so no worries. It's like a whole runway.
all right, cool. And with that, Wakanda Forever is slated
She's
to come out
beautiful
July
woman, I just want
8th.
to clarify.
She is.
Yeah, she's
July
lovely.
8th, 2022. The Marvels is set for November 11th, 2022, both next year. So we got a little ways to wait. A year and some change, if you will. That's actually how
God, so
the
good.
phrase goes.
Okay.
I'm happy to be back. Okay. Invincibles 2 confirmed. So here's why. I didn't put a link to this article. I didn't do it, one, because it's literally just a name. That's all we know. And also because I wanted to do this. Invincibles Season 2 confirmed the villain will be Angstrom Levy. I don't want to know anything else.
Yeah. Same.
Normally I spoil the fuck out of everything for myself ahead of time because I either like tangentially know about the property a little bit so I know what's going on, or I'm like, oh, what's this? Let me look it up. And I got so much enjoyment out of not knowing what was going on in the first season or what was going to happen. I can't wait to know as little as fucking possible.
Yeah,
till the show comes out.
I don't even know if this is a VA or if this is the name of a character that's going to be the main villain. I have
It's
no
a
idea.
character.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've spoiled too much. All right. I didn't know this. I didn't know, next piece of news, that they were making an animated Super Mario movie. Did you guys know that?
I did not. Nope.
Sounds
Okay,
like
it's coming.
sounds like an idea.
It sure does. It's coming out in 2022 from Illumination, which is a decent animation studio. They don't, they're not top tier. They're not god tier Pixar, where even their worst shit is still pretty good. But they do okay shit. Unfortunately, they are also the creators of the Hellspawn property Minions, which unfortunately should be like rocket shipped towards the sun.
Yeah.
But
You can always tell
And
it was a
everybody who
shitty
owns
kid.
one of the Minion hats too, they get on the rocket.
Yeah.
ship, too.
Oh, one of those with the little thing on top
Yeah.
and the fucking strings. Oh god, you can always tell who has a shitty kid because they're the kid at the fucking claw machine at Dave and Buster's trying to grab the minion. All the other kids are having fun playing House of the Dead and fucking riding the VR bullshit, but that one big four-headed son of a bitch is just trying to get that minion so he can walk around the house and show it to his parents and make those stupid fucking minion noises. Bet you wore a condom, huh? Or I bet you wish you wore a condom. I'm sorry.
Before we get too far away from House of the Dead, there is a game on Steam called Keyboard of the Dead, where instead of shooting enemies, you have to type words to. This. What is it called? Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
When we're done here, Google it.
No.
It's multiplayer. We should absolutely it looks fucking ridiculous. We should absolutely do a video of it. It's the
100%.
stupidest looking thing in the world. Anyway,
It came out on Dreamcast back in the day, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
something like
boys.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no idea they were making I assume the Super Mario movie is going to be extremely faithful. Like unlike all the
Yeah.
other weird ventures, this is probably just going to be an animated one that's more or less a basic ass story about saving Princess Peach. You know, like
Yeah.
that's fine. It's probably gonna play it safe.
I
Are
honestly
they gonna
like
give
out of
Mario
all
a
these
voice,
major developers, like Nintendo, I have the like most faith in. I mean, I know we're talking about not a video game, we're talking about a movie, but I think that they stay true to sort of like the soul of their games and themselves lately, more so than almost any other developer has over the past 30 years. So I think it could be cool.
One
Yeah.
thing that's concerning though is that Nintendo's big on these silent protagonists like Mario, Link. So
Yeah.
it
How
begs
do you
the
do it
question,
in a
like,
movie? Yeah.
how do you do it in a movie where you're like Sonic's whole thing is he has attitude and never shuts the fuck up?
Yeah.
A la Ben Schwartz, perfect casting. But who do you cast to play Mario if all he does is make those wahoo, yahoo?
Oh, you,
know, like
you, 100%. We just figured that
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
you answered your own
yeah,
question.
that
That's
was
it.
pretty
We nailed
perfect.
it.
yahoo, wahoo. Yeah, all right.
You have
You're
a
like really good at that.
Yeah.
you have an entire voice acting career ahead of you that just started. I'm very proud of
I'm
you.
excited. I'm excited.
Oh, the places you'll coom. So the whole point of the article was that there's going to be more of these films. Look, let's just take it one at a time, okay? Super Mario could be an absolute stinker. We have no idea. Nintendo's always been very guarded about making their properties into films for very good reason.
Yeah.
Because the first time they made a Super Mario Brothers movie,
It wasn't
movie
really
was
a Super
so-
Mario
That
Brothers
movie was
at
so
all.
bad, but dude, how do you? I love it still. I don't even care.
It's
so
amazing.
stupid.
Oh my god, it's so
yeah.
dumb. It's so weird.
It's so
How could
terrible.
you not love it?
But you have Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. You couldn't have casted that more perfectly, but also completely wrong at the same time. It doesn't make any goddamn
Yeah,
sense.
it's like a cocaine fueled fever dream. Like it's just it's
It
really is.
incredible. It's awesome.
it really
Yeah.
is. What's this alternate reality where dinosaurs evolved? Is some kind of weird like cyberpunk type
Yeah.
cityscape.
But also, instead of
Uh,
having mushrooms, there's this giant fungus everywhere. It looks fucking like a giant
And then
ball
you-
of snot.
And then you try to make Peach act against a giant wad of, let's be honest, they're boogers. It's just boogers and cum. That's all. That's
Nothing
all
but
they
boogers
are
and cum
down
all the way down.
boogers and come all the way down. That's an ancient proverb, isn't it, Derek?
What's that?
That's an ancient proverb, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
When you said boogers and cum,
Path to enlightenment.
my brain heard the berries and cream commercial from
Berries and
You
cream,
know what I'm-
berries and cream.
boogers and cream, boogers and oh, coom, I fucked up already. Oh, well, I'll let your imagination run wild. All right, guys, I gotta
You
talk
need
about
some-
something real serious for a minute.
All right.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Scott. What were you gonna say?
No, I was saying, no. If you're gonna let your imagination run wild in that field of Coom, you need some fucking, some waders, you know? Some big old boots. Big old squishy boots.
Gross. Boogers and cum, boogers and cum. I'm a little lad who loves boogers and cum.
I hope your wife is downstairs traumatized right now, like, what the fuck is he
What are they
doing?
talking about up there?
I know she can. I know
She's-
she
It all
can-
started when he got
She's
the
gonna see you
cum
come down with
mug.
that mug too, like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, God. I was contemplating sending her the picture, and I was like, "No, I gotta explain this one person before I send it." I don't know if I can get away with that. Okay, this is actually kind of a weird topic, only because I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Like how? Okay, so the news article. Before I get ahead of myself, there's some kind of Captain America story arc going on in Marvel Comics where there is like all these different variants of Captain America, and you know, so we get literally Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, and John Walker are all in there, but they're introducing new Shield bearers that have been inspired by the Avenger himself. They got a bunch of famous artists, and I don't know what they're doing because they announced that there was going to be a Captain America who is from the Kickapoo tribe. He's a Native American named Joe Gomez. So, okay, on paper, you're like, well, that sounds kind of off color. And then you see the picture of him, which is literally a guy in very Native American inspired garb, with tassels and the fur on the shoulder pads and the headband, wearing the stars and stripes. And it feels so fucking tone deaf
Mhm.
and just gross that in like 2021, I can't fathom how somebody said that this was a cool idea.
Yeah, wasn't one of the biggest arcs of Falcon Winter Soldier about like the complications of being an African American man wearing the stars and stripes, knowing everything this country's done to people of color?
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't that literally like that was the emotional tentpole of that entire series? That was the only part that resonated whatsoever in those 6 episodes. And then this seems to be the polar. I know it was made in conjunction with Native American artists, and the character was written like with. It still just seems like you couldn't just give him a regular fucking suit.
It's it's weird.
He's going to Burning Man. What's
yeah. It's like I don't know. I'm not even the person who like generally finds stuff to like get offended about stuff like this. Like I feel like a lot of it is blown out of the water. But even this to me, I'm like, I don't know how you couldn't like be of Native American descent and not be offended by this a little bit. Like you're literally taking a Native American guy and you're dressing him in the garb of like the country who stole his ancestors' land and like parading him around. Like it's weird. I agree. Like it's definitely, like I said, like I'm usually not one to see it. Like a lot of this kind of stuff I think is overblown. Nah, this is fucking weird, man. Like this is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt so, I thought it was a joke article. Like when I saw it, I was like, what? This is real life? This is like, oh Jesus, I can't. It's hard to fathom. We're just gonna say the same shit in perpetuity on this because it looks just disgusting.
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
I don't have anything else to say besides Marvel. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking or how tone deaf you are on this one, but yeah.
I also kind of can't wait for the fallout from it though. We're gonna have a lot of topics here on Cynical Nerd whenever that finally releases. So
they're like I can't express the pride I feel being a part of the team that get the what? Oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Even if he was I'm not done. Even if he was Native American and he was in like a normal Cap outfit, that would be better.
Yeah.
But you made the outfit like traditional Native American garb. It feels disgusting. It feels like someone took a proud Cherokee, Kickapoo tribe man, and you put him through like the July 4th factory, and he came out the other side painted.
It reminds
graffiti.
me of like when you see the mummers appropriating different bits and pieces of other cultures for their stupid New Year's parade where they just get drunk and say racist shit every year.
Yeah, and their breath is really bad. They're scary, those guys.
Yeah. 90% of them are in blackface 90% of the time. Not even just in the parade. They just walk around like that in South Philly. Scary fellas.
Weird.
I just don't get it, man. Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree. And speaking of why, the next article is just for Derek.
Great.
Kevin Smith. Oh, this is the one thing I added that was new. You might not have seen it. Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe series. Now, I knew he was doing.
Say that out loud again with a straight face. I dare you.
Van Damme. Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe series. It's called Masters of the Universe Revelation. Is an animated series coming to Netflix, reviving the 1980s animated show. Look,
wasn't it HeMan before? HeMan and Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, that's who the star is, Mr. HeMan. Mr. HeMan himself.
Is the show actually called Kevin Smith and the Masters of the Universe?
No, it's just called. It's just no.
Because I would pull my pants down and shit live on podcast if that's what it was.
I would film it.
Yeah,
I know you would.
Like literally, I'd pull my phone out to record it just in case you tried to delete the video on me later and chickened out. I would totally do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't have any love for Masters of the Universe. I was too old. It was an 80s show, and I was born in 87. By the time I was old enough to appreciate cartoons, this shit was the stuff that my older cousins talked about. I missed it.
You know you were too young. Okay, I was like, you were too old.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what year were you born in?
Oh, did I say that? Yeah, I might have fucked that up verbose. My bad. I was too young. I missed it. That shit was lost on me. To me, that was literally like the generation before me cartoon, and I didn't have any attachment to it. But I know lots of people who love that really goofy shit, like He-Man. Here's the thing. The same studio that's doing Castlevania, which is what we're talking about tonight, is the animation studio doing this show, and the stills, for all intents and purposes, look pretty good. The animation looks good.
Yeah.
The character models look pretty fucking dope. Skeletor, person's name. I don't know why that makes me laugh. I watch way weirder shit on a daily basis for the podcast, but Skeletor looks kind of cool. They got a great voice cast too, which is another sign of an awesome thing. I mean, they got good writers for the show. The voice cast includes Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, Lena Headey, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Diedrich Bader, Phil Lamar, Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of good.
Silverstone. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd consider her a good voice actor, but she's in it, so I know who she is.
I'm just glad she's still alive. We can call it the search party. Where the fuck has she been for the last 20 years?
After she got shamed for being for having trouble getting into her Batgirl costume in that terrible movie.
Wait, is that really what happened?
Hid away from the world. She has talked about it subsequently, and like she said that the production
fuck you,
staff
Joel Schumacher,
was super shitty to her about needing to lose more weight.
Oh, about like literally physically being incapable of getting into it.
Yep.
Oh wow.
She was always so. I honestly really enjoyed her in everything but that movie.
Yeah.
She was so stiff in that movie.
Well, I mean, that movie was just awful. It was so bad.
Alicia Silverstone in that Batman movie as Batgirl was how I think of Natalie Portman in Attack of the Clones.
Right. Fair. Okay.
Yeah,
Good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually proud of that one because I think Natalie Portman is a fantastic actress. I've seen her at like Black Swan. She's a fucking amazing actress.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's fantastic.
And she is like a piece. She's like a rake that they put a face on in Attack of the Clones. She has nothing. Yeah. She's so wooden. It's
you
fucking
just,
horrible.
You just imagine like George off camera, like, all right, go. Just like, what the fuck am I doing?
We got to do it again. It was
go
too
now.
good.
do you talking?
Yeah. Anakin, we can't. Oh Jesus. Anyway, so I don't know how to feel about this. Kevin Smith is the showrunner. Obviously, he's got a lot of love for this franchise. I mean, this is kind of right in his wheelhouse. He was that age, and the animation studio is great. The voice cast looks good. So I don't know, Derek. Did you ever get into He-Man? Do you give a shit at all?
I lived with my grandparents when I was a kid, and so all they had was like old VHSs of like the older cartoons. So I actually was exposed to some of the stuff that was a little bit before my time. Like I watched, what was it called? Like The Amazing Spider-Man, like the one from the 60s or whatever it was. There was like a couple here and there that but He-Man was one of them. So I never like fell in love with He-Man. But I always thought it was cool. I didn't like retain any of that throughout my life. But like, again, but I didn't even know you put this in the doc. I just actually happened to see an article today on this with some of the stills. And I was like, well, I had no idea Kevin Smith was attached to it, but I was like, this looks really fucking well animated. I didn't know anything about any of the voice actors until you just listed them off, and it sounds incredible. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I think it sounds great.
I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know that I'm gonna give a shit about the characters, but I mean, hey, I thought the same thing about Castlevania. And spoiler alert, that show's pretty good. Or at least I think so.
It's really good.
God, how do you feel about He-Man? Do you?
I don't give a shit about He-Man. I'm just thankful for the Skeletor memes it's brought us over the years.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's all I have to say.
And he prayed.
My favorite is when he walks through the teleport mirror and then puts his arm back through and breaks it, so that they can't follow him. It's like, yeah, that's definitely how physics works. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he has a mirror that teleports him. So.
All right, fair play.
Yeah, kind of got me on.
I'm pretty sure He-Man like flies through the air on a green tiger too. So
I'm pretty sure his sword gives him bigger muscles. So
I'm pretty sure the
that actually is how that works, though.
Tiger's called Battle Cat, actually. Which makes it
they really
better.
just didn't like like with the naming shit. They just
He-Man, Skeletor,
He-Man.
I'm actually looking because they have the action figures here. So it's He-Man, Skeletor, Battle Cat, Moss Man. It's the guy that looks like he's covered in moss. And then there's Skelegod because he also has a skeleton face, but he's like a little cooler than Skeletor.
Right, of course.
So
can we just refer to He-Man as cum cutter moving forward? I feel like that's really
yeah.
He's got some cum cutters.
I thought they were called cum gutters. Like they gutter.
Is it gutter?
Oh.
I thought it was like cum gutters. Yeah, like they, like.
Oh, we got to look
flow
into this. I've been saying gutters this whole time. I hope you're wrong.
I think it's gutters.
I think it is gutters.
I'm pretty sure it's gutters. 2-1. All right, boys. That is most of the news articles. We have one more thing we have to talk about, and I think we have to. I think it's time, boys. You ready?
Oh. I think so.
I think it's time.
Oh my god, look at Derek.
boys. Oh, I get this one like Superman lock right here. Okay, I'll take it. Hey ye, it's time.
Diddler Court is in session. Now approaching the bench, the Honourable
in session.
The Honourable Senator Haver.
Yes,
of the Clan Big Dick.
The Justice Haver in this courtroom. My wig's the coolest, I just want to say 100%.
The wig I was gonna buy, by the way, I bought this wig because I didn't want to wait a week for my wig to get here. We haven't used these things for a fucking month. I could have got my wig. My wig was like Derek's, but like I looked like Gene's fucking D. Snyder from Twisted Sister. It was insane.
Oh, that's amazing.
It would have been incredible.
Boys, we again, I'm sorry, this has been a very visual episode. If you are listening, we have all purchased old judge wigs. Is that why you have like the grandpa robe on? Is that
no? But that actually works now.
It works.
I didn't even think of that. That's like, yeah, totally.
Like,
sorry, I'm trying to do a cunty English accent throughout this entire bit. Right.
Several weeks, I can't do the whole thing. Several weeks ago, we all after
no.
Try again.
All right,
Christopher.
fine.
Christopher.
All right. Several weeks ago.
The king's tongue would be right.
A fortnight ago.
When we first
in
discussed,
days past.
It was right about the fourth session of the Diddler Court. We decided to buy wigs. We thought we should play the part.
Chimney sweep.
A little.
Yeah, you sound like a guy that's selling opium, like around when like Jack the Ripper was around. Oi, come on in, mate.
Silence in Diddler Court.
We will have order in the Court of Diddlers.
I will have order at once.
What brings the Diddler Court in session today, good sir? Would you like to go?
James Franco stands accused of being a diddler. I seen him do it.
You sound like a Sweeney Todd whore now. You sound like a Jack the Ripper victim. Yeah, I saw him, James Franco. He touched the one broad. We all saw him. It was in broad daylight.
Oh no!
He was taking a women's studies course. He was, but just to get some pussy. I hate James Franco. Oh God! All right.
Yeah. Listeners, we can't. None of us can do English accent. Look, I know we have like at least one listener from the UK. We're sorry. Like genuinely, we're really sorry. I just want to say that.
Oh my God! That was good.
A slight pause to gather his thoughts.
I can't even. It hurts so bad that my back hurts.
Headphones off.
I have to say this. Hang on, I have to say this while I can't hear you react. Otherwise, I can't get it out. When Scott said, "I saw him do it," that's why I fucking lost it.
I seen him, I did.
All right, I think.
All right, so James Franco has been accused of, many times in the past, right? He was contacting underage girls on Twitter and Instagram, and I guess now his good friend Seth Rogen said he's no longer going to work with him professionally, and that these accusations, well, not accusations, these solicitations have affected their personal relationship as well.
Yeah, Seth's kind of. I mean, there's no way he didn't know, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't blame him just as much, but he's still a piece of shit.
People have been yelling at Seth, calling him an enabler.
Yeah,
obviously, but the weird thing about Franco, and honestly, it is true more often than it's not. I feel like is that Franco is objectively a handsome guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has dated some very attractive women, and yet he's still doing this shit. He's, according to the article, there's a couple fans that came up to him. They were 17. He added them or something and then DM'd them later and said, meet me at a hotel room. And apparently he did this more than once, even after he was accused of doing creepy shit. The first time he just proceeded to do it again. And look, if you can't tell that she's over 18, then just walk away from her. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Two
get
forms
that.
of ID.
I also think that it just comes down to, like, honestly, like, even like you know, I have friends, or I'll hear people at work or something who are my age, like early mid 30s, talking about like, oh, well, at least she's 18. Still disgusting. If you're gonna fuck an 18-year-old when you're like 35 years old, all you're saying is, I don't mind fucking children as long as I can't go to jail for it. It's fucking weird. Like, either way, like, borderline, it's just disgusting fucking behavior to me. Like, date someone your own age, fuck someone your own age. Like, it's not that hard. I don't know. I think either way, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't have a... Yes, I agree with what... In fact, I'm not even going to add anything else to it because it's exactly... That was perfect. He's 43 right now, just to give you an idea of the kind of age gap there. And that's, you know, pretty grody.
James Franco, we find you guilty of diddling in the second degree. Furthermore,
attempted
Mr.
diddling it
Seth
was.
Rogen, a double diddler he was.
Yeah. Seth Rogen's found guilty of enabling and making the same 3 movies for 20 years.
Accessory to diddling.
Yeah.
Although no sentencing that this court could ordain would damage your career any more than you already have, Seth. So,
right.
Good luck to
go
you.
Fuck yourself. Gentlemen, I now convene this diddler court. Good day.
Court is a gent.
Now I gotta take this thing off before my head
it's
sweats
really
to
hot.
death.
Oh, by the way, if you saw me take my headset off for a second at first, it's because Ron said, is Chris supposed to be Elsa?
The answer is yes, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually bought the Elsa wig and thought I can pass this off. It'll work. All right, so fuck James Franco. All right, we have 4 trailers. 3 1/4 because this first one's just a teaser, and honestly, there's not much to it. But we have 4 trailers to talk about. And then we're gonna take our pee break.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes, boys.
Shit.
I want all that meat. So first up, Stranger Things season 4. It's coming out. We still don't know when.
Yeah.
Am I looking forward to it? Sure. I mean, as much as the seasons continue to just do kind of the same thing over and over, it was still an alright show. I didn't hate it. So there's a teaser trailer that came out on Netflix. It tells us nothing.
Yeah, what a pointless fucking trailer, right? Way to waste 45 seconds of my life.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember the kids that have powers? Here's some of them training, and then there's a shot of it makes no sense. How is it? What is this teasing?
Yeah, because it's shit that already happened. So like, it doesn't really tell us much. The only thing I can think is that there's been a lot of fan theories that Dr. Brenner is not dead. And
I've heard that too. Yeah,
and showing him, just kind of like showcasing him in the teaser was a way of sort of like getting him back in everyone's mind to show that he's probably going to show up in season 4.
I had forgotten, looking at someone who analyzed this teaser, I had forgotten that the place we left off at the end of season 3 with 11 was that she no longer has her powers.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that too, actually.
We don't know if permanently or I'm sure not permanently, but I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that fucking happened. And what's his name? Hopper's probably in Russia. Probably took the portal before the explosion and got thrown over to Russia somehow.
Boy, what an emotional finale. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Hey, look, they're it actually was very sad. Yeah. They're leaving Hawkins this time, obviously, and look, if they can freshen that show up a bit and do something actually different as opposed to the same town drama over and over, it could really reinvigorate it for me. I didn't hate season 3. It felt a little rote to me. That's going to be my word of the night.
Yeah.
But I didn't dislike it. It was still the same kind of like the charm starts to wear. You know, you're like, okay, I fucking get it. We're in the 80s, right? Like,
yes.
But it was still fine.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I liked it too. I just think it's kind of like it's got to end soon. Like, hopefully this next one will be the last one. If not, it's got to be season 5. I mean, can't keep doing the same fucking thing again and again and again.
Yeah.
Well, the kids grow up. I mean, they're all way older already, even in appearance, than they were during season one.
You know, there was a picture of I think Lucas is his name, and like he's rumored to be like starred in something. That dude grew up, dude. Like he's like taller than me now. So I mean,
oh shit,
yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. There's a new trailer that came out for A Quiet Place Part 2. How did you guys... We obviously weren't a podcast when the show came out, or movie came out. How did you guys like the first movie?
Never saw it.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Really? Okay. Scott?
it was fine.
It was okay, right?
Yeah,
That's what I've heard.
I didn't get the hype. You know what I mean? Like John Krasinski.
Krasinski.
Krasinski. Didn't he direct it?
Say it right.
Didn't he direct it?
Yeah, he directed it and
Yeah.
starred.
So I mean, like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get what they're going for, but again, when it comes to a creature feature, if you're gonna do the old, they can't see you, they can only hear you bullshit. It's been done better. I mean, Tremors comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sensing vibrations. I'm sorry. The OG Tremors with Kevin Bacon
Was excellent. Masterpiece.
was absolute masterpiece of a creature feature. Don't even pretend to laugh at that sentence. It didn't do it for me, man. It's all about the creature design, and they were just very.
Or
And then,
just
like-
CGI. Like, what do you know, there's just these random CGI.
I mean,
things.
that's exactly the point. They could have been stylized to high heaven, but it wouldn't have made a fucking difference because they didn't feel like they were in the world at all. It just felt very disjointed. to
Yeah.
me.
I'm gonna spoil something for Derek. It's first one's been out for a
fine,
while, so yeah. I thought some of the set pieces around sound was kind of interesting. I liked it. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was still pretty much in the meh category for me, but Emily Blunt's pregnant actually in this movie, and of course goes into labor while they're being like attacked, and literally has to try and give birth like in a tub by herself and not scream.
Yeah.
And that part I thought was kind of cool. She actually like trying to get away, like steps on a fucking nail walking up the stairs, and you're like, and she like has to hold it in. There's a couple like tense moments. Spoiler alert, again, John Krasinski sacrifices himself to save his family towards the end. So this one looks like it's doing a bit of flashbacks in it. This trailer's okay. I'm just interested in how they try to continue the story, right? Like it's you think about the apocalypse and a family staying together, and obviously Krasinski was like the protector of the family and stuff, and now it's just the mom, and she just had a fucking baby she's got to tend to.
Yeah.
And they had like they even had like a little soundproof thing that they could put the baby in, like it was a little manger, and they would put the kid in it. It had a little bit of room and a little bit of light in it, and they could close it off, and it was like soundproof. Which I was like, well, I mean, sure, what else would you do? I don't know. The trailer looked okay to me. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm willing to watch anything where John Krasinski dies. So I'm into that. I hate that guy. God, I'd love to punch him in
Really?
the face. 100%. He's the same thing as Will Smith. He's a fucking millionaire who posts videos about how like everything's fine. Just send out good energy and it comes back. And it's like, yeah, it's real easy to say that when you own like 500 acres of land that you can do whatever the fuck you want on. Like, some of us are struggling out here, John. All right. Like maybe just step outside of your own zone a little bit. I just can't stand rich people that do shit like that.
I mean,
The bones.
you must be
in.
overjoyed that whole positive energy thing didn't work out for Will Smith, right? He got fucking
Yeah,
dunked on by his own wife.
He got fucking, he got dunked on real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cried on live
Jada Pinkett
television.
Smith also Diddler Court, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh
she's our
yeah, that
next.
guy was young. I
Yeah.
He
forgot
was her
about
son's
that.
friend, yeah.
Look, I can understand you hating Krasinski for like The Office if you don't like that show. I think he's a pretty decent actor. And you know what? I am the optimistic one. I thought that some good news thing when it was the middle of the pandemic and everyone was fucking miserable. He was trying to be happier.
Yeah, but that's
I
like
don't
that
know.
whole like Gal Gadot, let's sing a song, like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Is the world all better if we all just sing in the foyers of our mansions? Is that just what we got to do? You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
Life's a happy song.
I
So
saw
that's the
I
Muppet
saw her
movie
in a
with Jason
commercial the
Segel.
other day. Like, for some reason, I was watching TV with my family, and I saw Gal Gadot in a commercial, and I thought, oh, this is where she should have been all along, just selling me toothbrushes,
Oh my god.
because she has a beautiful smile. But that's
It's pretty much where it ends.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, she has a beautiful everything, but let's.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even believe that she wanted to buy that toothbrush, guys. I didn't even
butthole?
believe she wanted to buy. I was like, she's not buying that fucking toothbrush. I don't believe this. Terrible actress.
All right, boys. Fucking barbs out with both of you guys today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2 trailers left. I don't think that I got your thoughts on this one in the group chat. There's a trailer for the Venom sequel called Let There Be Carnage, which is just the fucking worst title they could have came out with. Anyway,
pretty bad.
This is actually coming out relatively soon. Comes out in September 24th of this year. There is the Carnage sequel. Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage. Cletus Cassidy, the serial killer who gets the symbiote, and surprise, kills lots of people. I don't know. I have to say one thing. The first one, I don't really care for. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'll never watch it again. I can safely say that. It was it felt like a pre-Marvel era superhero movie because it was standalone and it was just kind of a goofy character and you just had to accept it and let it go. And then it was like you just at that point you could feel like you didn't waste your time watching it. And that's about as much praise as I could give it. But for me, I'm the optimistic one.
I mean, like this to me, these movies just for something that's all style and no substance, it's severely lacking any kind of style, right? Like, think about like some of the best panels you ever saw as a kid, like, you know, Venom versus the Juggernaut, Venom versus the Punisher. He's always tearing through Eddie Brock's clothing and like underneath on him. And the thing that drove me crazy with this entire movie is that it just comes out through his clothes. Like it's always just there and cloaked, which is so stupid. Like they threw away a chance to have so many iconic frames on the screen. And
Could have seen Tom Hardy's dick, is what you're saying. I get that.
There's a lot of Rule 34 out there.
I'm sure there is, but it's just.
I mean, those tentacles can be put to use. You know what I mean?
The motorcycle chase sequence says it all, right? Like it's just so over the top and still not entertaining at all. Like you're watching this 18 car pile up go down. And you're just thinking, when the fuck is this going to be over so I can watch the next scene that I also can't wait for it to be over? You know what I mean? Like.
Well, before Scott started shitting on it, I was going to give the trailer one kudo, which is that I laughed at the intro. I thought the symbiote trying to make him breakfast was kind of funny. And then the rest of it was just whatever.
What is this, Ace Ventura? What are we doing?
I loved Ace Ventura. Keep going.
I did too, but not. No.
Is this now Disney? Is this like Marvel Studios doing this now?
No, this is Sony. It's why.
Well, they weren't Fox, right? That's Sony.
Right.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
There are, of course, rumors that they're gonna try and do something where they're just calling this like a different part of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because if you, I had forgotten this, but at the end of the first Venom movie, there was a teaser for Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie, and before it came on, it actually said like in another universe or something. And everybody was like, oh, okay. So they're setting it up so like if they ever do decide to do it, they're just going to go, hey, Mr. Strange, could you please? I don't, it looks about as worthwhile as the first one, which means I'll probably watch it. It's going to probably be all right. Kind of bad.
I never saw the first one, and it's for basically all the reasons you guys are saying. Like, it's not that it looks like it never looked terrible to me. It never looks like just a total waste of time. But it's always like, anytime I've gone to watch it, there's always something I'd rather watch. But that being said, like, there were some things about the trailer that I liked. And I know that people, like comic book fans, really fucking love Carnage. The only thing that's worrying is I think that they're doing, this is probably PG-13, right? And Carnage is supposed to be like...
Really?
I actually don't know. I don't know.
The first one was PG-13, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think they had been flirting with an R for the first one, and then it ended up going PG-13. Like, I think there was rumors it was going to be an R, and then it ended up not being an R.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are some Carnage comics where he does some fucking, like, absolutely
oh, yeah.
He's a serial killer.
Shit.
Like, he's a fuck, like, yeah.
So
he's one of the only, like, I'm bad because I want to be bad villains that is, like, acceptable to me, because he's actually just a serial killer.
Just a crazy
like,
person. Yeah.
Okay, just go kill people. Sure,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So I'll watch it, and then I'll probably watch this one too. I mean, this trailer certainly caught me more than the trailer for the first one did. I just like nothing seemed especially good about the first one, and I if I remember correctly, I think that even Tom Hardy only signed on to it because like his son or his nephew or something wanted him to, so he was just like, ah, fuck it, I'll do it for him. So like even he, who was an incredible actor, kind of didn't even do it for himself. So I'm like, he can't possibly be bringing his A game to this, you know?
I'm the suburban white kid that doesn't really listen to rap, but every once in a while I'll get the urge to turn on like some Eminem, just super white bread kid. You know how it is. Down to the bone.
Right.
You can't tell where the skin tone ends and the bone starts because it's the same color. But Eminem released a track for the first Venom movie. It was actually pretty cool, pretty good.
Oh yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
I was like really confused where you were going with that.
I got all kinds of secrets. Okay.
I have a theory that Eminem has been bad for 20 years too.
Thank you, Scott.
No, he's literally like a master wordsmith. Like
I'll give you the Marshall Mathers LP Part 2, but everything before that, like when he sobered up, real bad. And yeah. And now, real bad. Still real bad. Just
now, his latest album was actually...
People are like, oh, he can rhyme anything. I'm like, yeah, because he's making words up. He's like, spaghetti, gambaletti. It's like, that doesn't count.
What the fuck? No, I can't stand for any of this. He's extremely talented. Anyway, fuck, what was I going to say? Fuck, I had something.
I think you were going to say that my
newfound love for
really
ICP as well?
No, I'm not down with the clown.
Hey, can we do one episode where we're in like clown makeup?
No, I won't do that.
Okay, what about corpse paint? We'll talk about it.
What about magnets? How do they work?
We should do an episode in corpse paint, but don't.
I will butt chug a Fago if you wear clown makeup.
Wait, who are you talking to right now?
You.
Oh, I'm not wearing clown makeup.
That's why I said I'd do it. I knew you wouldn't.
We used to tease. I won't bring it up. He'll get mad. Someone we all know who would do artwork for us in high school was a fan of them, and we teased him so bad several times that he left group chats over it. So I tend not to bring it up anymore. It was bad. Anyway, at one point I called him Travie Too Dope.
You just said you weren't going to bring it up, and then you did it.
And you did it.
Yeah, well,
like all entirely self-imposed. We didn't egg you on. We didn't ask any questions.
You didn't say anything.
You're 100% right, and it's because I'm confident he doesn't listen. So I love you, baby boy. Hatchet Man. Carnage to me is like the epitome of 90s comics villains. Like when they were drawing Spider-Man comic book covers, and it was all style, no substance. Like his legs were about 3 feet too long for the anatomy of his body. Like they were just these ridiculous, like Todd McFarlane Spider-Man covers, and Carnage just screams 90s villain to me. So does Venom. Venom and Carnage are both like in my brain. They just I
mean, they're products of the 80s, right? Like it was just like late 80s, early 90s. We're just like, we need something more visceral. None of our because if you go back and look at the old Spider-Man villains, they're all so cartoonish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Venom and Carnage especially is where things started getting really, really dark.
Yeah. Maximum Carnage is is fucked up. Maximum.
I have that series literally in a box in my bed right now. It's fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Litty titties.
Yeah, it's so good. Separation Anxiety, fantastic fucking run. I think that one was six books long. Dude, it's.
I played that video game. That's the extent of
that game was dope too.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing, man. Like I've been a Venom fan for as long as I've been a Deadpool fan, and it hurts my heart to see one franchise being taken care of. What do you?
Sometimes Chris is laughing, and I just don't know what. I just want to know. You know what I mean? I
just want to get in there. It's nothing that happened here. It's my brain thought of something stupid, and I was holding it in because it was irrelevant. And if I tell you, you might chuckle for a second, but really, it's not worth it. So we can continue.
Okay.
I mean, all right. If you want to know.
I mean, I feel like now we all need to know, right? Or we can just keep the listeners guessing forever because fuck them, right?
Yeah, fuck them. You said you were like, oh, that game was dope, and in my brain I was gonna go, but was it Shaggy Too Dope? That's it.
God damn it. Okay, all right.
We started.
Pretty solid.
Yeah,
All right,
We started the ICP joke train, and I'm just like riding a bike.
You just like abandoned. You just like let go of Dane Cook, and now it's just fucking ICP jokes.
Yeah, well, I'll meet you guys at the Dark Carnival.
Bro, God damn it.
I just snorted.
I'm just saying, like, as somebody who's been like a long time Venom fan, the first movie hurt my feelings, and seeing that they're taking it in an even more cartoonish direction with like the whole breakfast scene had me like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, Venom's not he's not supposed to be this like this buddy comedy, buddy cop bullshit. He's supposed to be like this fiercely menacing thing that takes over and Eddie loses control. Once Venom has control, Eddie has to fight for control back. And we saw part of that in the first one, but then they make it like a comedy there too. He jumps in a fucking lobster tank and eats raw lobster.
Yeah.
Like it's so poorly written, man.
No, you're right. Well, that's because that's because it exists. And I bitched about this like to no end when Venom came out, because why does Venom take the form that he does? Like even like the shape of his fucking eyeballs, down to the shape of his fucking eyeballs. He takes the form because of Spider-Man. Like the only reason Venom exists in the state that we all know him is because of Spider-Man. He was on Spider-Man. He doesn't even want Eddie Brock. He's using Eddie Brock to get back to Peter Parker because he wants that sweet, juicy fucking power that Peter Parker has, or it does, I guess, as a symbiote. And I could not stop bitching about how they were making a Venom movie and not talking about Spider-Man. It was like leaving out the most important part of another character's origin story to me. It was like saying Superman was a dude from Earth who could just fly. It's like, well, I mean, Krypton's like kind of an important fucking part.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry.
I could bitch for like fucking hours. It's making me angry, like remembering how mad I was.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, what we should have gotten was a Sinister Six movie where the only way Spider-Man's able to best them is by having the black suit on. And
Sinister Dicks.
God damn it. I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it. But now I realize I should have. Because then I would have beaten you to it.
Yeah. Dr. Coctavius here. Listeners, how you doing? Just throwing out them smooth, veiny, metallic vibes for you. No, but we should have had a movie. Like we should have had a movie where Spider-Man had to use the black suit to overcome this crazy amount of like this crazy team up of villains. And then at the end of that movie, our post credits is him losing it and it finding Eddie Brock. And then we get a whole movie where it's Spider-Man versus Venom. And the fact that Sam Raimi didn't do that we didn't get that, I mean, it kind of fucked the original trilogy, the point where they scorched the earth, they started over again with Best Baby Boy Andrew Garfield.
Well, he didn't. That wasn't entirely Sam Raimi's fault, though. He didn't even want to have Venom in the third one, but the studio made him do it. So he's like, all right, I'll tack something on, I guess.
But the whole Sandman killed Uncle Ben thing, that was insane.
Not good.
Very dumb. Not a good thing. What are you retconning this for? It happened 2 movies ago, bro.
Yeah, we don't need a reason to hate him other than he has that face. What are you doing? Like,
True. That face is hard to look at. He just looks like molasses.
It's not good.
He somehow looks like molasses is angry or mildly disappointed. We'll go with that.
Yeah. He looks like a beehive that's sad, right?
Both in form and function, actually.
Don't take my honey, like, I'm gonna get it.
But he took my daughter. He had like such a monotonous delivery. Oh, it was so bad. The CGI for him at the time was pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like the sand particle physics were like kind of revolutionary at the time.
Until it just blows away in a giant cloud halfway across the city at like Mach 3 for no fucking reason. And none of the people who are standing in that path get their skin sandblasted off. Big disappointment.
And none of them end up with like lung cancer 20 years later. It's totally unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again, Raimi.
Yeah, don't do it again, please.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I bitching about? Oh, right. How Venom exists apart from Spider-Man. Because fuck that concept. It's so stupid. And what I was trying to get at before we got horribly sidetracked, which is, spoiler alert, what do we do here?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of our thing.
Mm-hmm. Having the reason that it was so cartoony is because they had to get him from Venom to the anti-hero that took years in the comics for him to achieve. All right, what are you doing?
Now dig on this.
Oh boy.
The whole movie can suck dicks in hell. I hate it so much.
They had to get him from. They couldn't do the scary bad guy thing because he was the fucking star. They had to get straight to anti-hero So they had to just make him the goofball, like, well, he eats people, but he didn't mean it. Like, what was the Bill Hader thing from the roast of Diddler Court's own James Franco? He's like, Smorgadord! Like, oh, I eat people, I can't help it. By the way, James Franco, you might be a bag of shit, but your roast was still probably the best one that was on Comedy Central.
Have not seen.
Oh, they had a lot of heavy hitters on that.
Was Pete Davidson on that one? Or was he in rehab for that one?
I think he was in rehab for that one, because Andy Samberg was on that one.
That wasn't a serious question. I was just making fun of Pete Davidson.
Oh. Andy Samberg's bit on James Franco's roast was one of my favorite things.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's really, really fucking good.
You know who just got out of rehab? John Mulaney for cocaine.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was doing coke. I mean, he used a real skinny guy, but...
I was going to say, after you found out, though, you're like, well, that makes sense.
I knew he was a drinker,
he was supposed
but
to be
I didn't know he was
sober
doing
for
coke.
years, though.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He actually, when I saw Pete Davidson and John Mulaney in Sewell, New Jersey, at a high school auditorium, and the whole time they just made fun of the entire town. But when they were together, he had taken Pete on the road to help sober Pete up. Like,
Right.
John Mulaney was Pete Davidson's sponsor.
Oh, wow.
His AA sponsor or NA sponsor at one point.
Damn.
So yeah, love and thoughts go out to John Mulaney. Not prayers though, because there is no God.
Did you say AA or NA?
I'm not sure which one. Probably. I mean, a lot of people.
But John Mulaney got out of rehab, and his wife handed him divorce papers. So that guy's having a rough month. We love you, John.
We're
here nothing but love for John Mulaney. No jokes, no ha-has at the expense of John Mulaney.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, you were not only Spider Pig, you were my Spider Pig. So I want you to know that. I tried to say that seriously. All right, we got one more trailer to get through, and I want to get
Peter
through
Porker?
Mm-hmm.
You son of a bitch! You get that name right.
It was Peter. Yeah, he was Spider Pig though. Peter Porker was okay. We have one more trailer, and I'm not gonna fucking go around robin here. I'm just gonna say I love this trailer. It looks like a really cool fucking fantasy movie. It's called The Green Knight. Stars Dev Patel. It's from director David Lowery. It's in theaters July 30th. It also has the Tomb Raider reboot, Alicia Vikander did it, and Joel Edgerton. And this movie is the kind of movie that like you don't see often because they're kind of artsy and it looks like a lot of like really nice shots, but also a lot of expensive shit to make, like prosthetics.
Yeah.
But it looks really kind of mysterious and cool, and I like it. And Scott, how'd you feel about it?
It has a cool Del Toro vibe about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little Del Toro.
Yeah.
Like a little pinch, you know. I'm into it, man. That's all I can really say. It looks cool. It looks interesting. Yeah, from what I've seen, the shots are incredible. I liked the music I heard in the trailer. It's something I've never heard of before, so I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to look it up and see and kind of read into the lore of it, or if I want to be surprised like we were with Invincible.
I think it's a new take on the King Arthur tale. Like the Arthur, like I think I've read somewhere that he's playing like
so he's supposed to be Grendel then. Grundle? Is it Grundle? It's not Grundle.
No, not Beowulf.
That's that thing between here.
Not the Beowulf tale, like an actual like an Arthurian like the Knights of the Round Table.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Lady in the Lake and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Gadwin or something. I don't fucking know. So I think it's an original tale. I'm not 100% sure, but the trailer just painted this really interesting, like what's going on. It looks like a challenge, and then like a journey a year later.
Yeah.
Derek, how'd this hit you?
I am unfucking believably psyched for this movie. I saw a teaser for this. I don't know, just a couple weeks ago. Actually, Veronica and I were watching like all the A24 because we're A24 artisans in this house.
I mean, Ex Machina came from A24,
excellent,
which is
excellent movie. We just
delicious.
watched that. Veronica loved it. First time she saw it, she loved it. There was like a teaser trailer for this that like just had a bunch of weird imagery, and I was like, oh man, like the just aesthetically this movie looks so cool, but it didn't go nearly as in depth as this trailer did. Holy fucking shit, this looks so good. Down for the music, the color palettes, the fucking cinematography, the story, the voice acting, everything about this trailer has me at like absolute full speed ahead fucking hype train. It looks so good. I've been waiting 20 years for a fucking movie, a fantasy epic that can hold even the most minor candle to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. Do I think that this is going to like be better than that? No. but like I just need something that comes close in my lifetime, and I just want this to be it. It looks so fucking good. I've watched the trailer like 5 times. It
Really?
just looks amazing. Yeah, I am so excited for this movie.
I feel like I gain like 6 months on my lifespan every time Derek is this excited about something. Like it just reinvigorates me.
Dude, just like watch it, like the way the shots are framed, the different
they're
color
gorgeous,
palettes that they use for. It's like every single shot was thought out like for over hours and hours. What color should his cloak be to complement the trees that are in the background here? Every single shot looks beautiful. Dude, I cannot fucking wait for this movie. I am so pumped.
Yeah, but also let's be real. There's also a real cute little baby fox that talks toward.
I know, and he's very cute. He's a very cutie.
But it's
cutie
not
patootie.
like they didn't like cartoon up the animal. He looks like a fox. He just happens to say people words.
He says people words.
Adorable.
He does. It's very true. But
I'm also excited for this.
yeah.
It looks pretty. It looks, as I like to say sometimes, it looks litty titties. That's all I'll say about
That's
it.
the one.
Juicely,
Ten-
absolute church.
Juicely. 10 out of 10 on the Scoot scale. All right, boys. We have main topics coming up. What's the consensus? PP break time? What are you doing?
PP break.
PP break? How about you, Scott? You going?
I'm
Staying?
good. I'm good. I'll stay.
Oh shit, he's good. All right, boys. You know what the drill is. So I get to finally say this, which is that you can find us on Twitter at The Cynical Nerd. Ooh, it feels good to say.
It does feel good. Feels good to hear you say it too.
Yeah, it's it wasn't Derek wasn't kidding. It kind of reinvigorated us. We're all stoked to have our proper handle now. Hey Ron, what's up? How you doing? Nice to see you. Look, you're having a good time back there. It kind of reinvigorated us. We are shit posting all day long, and literally 24/7. As Scott tends to work overnights and therefore is up all hours. We're just thinking of content to put in your eyeballs. Really. I've put my photoshopping, my meager photoshopping skills to use. They are available for the boys at all times. That's getting off topic though. Follow us on Twitter at The Cynical Nerd. If you have a problem with something we said, if we misstated something, if we were wrong, if we were right and you don't like us for it, hashtag fuck TCN. Ask us a question. Tell us what's on your mind. If you have a question for us, it can just straight up be asked. Hashtag ask TCN, and it's one way to submit your questions on the podcast.
Yeah.
The other way you can do that is one of those old school fucking email addresses. It's just questions@thecynicalnerd.com. And I have to tell you all, disappointed. We mentioned that email address in several tweets. And out of all 11 followers, nobody sent an email in. Yeah, we did. Look, we didn't care. We didn't care about the Twitter handle because we didn't have our name. So now we're really going to start putting some weight behind it. Hopefully we'll get some more emails in, because even reading that one from like 2 weeks ago from Christine was just a joy. It was an absolute joy. You can also find us at facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. And I think that about wraps us up. Now we get to play a fun game called let's pick apart Derek's room. What's in there? What we got? Hey, are you? Oh, you know what? I just figured something out.
What?
I'm like Sherlock Holmes. I was always trying to figure out what those things were on the wall. Again, if you're listening to this, I apologize, but pull up the YouTube video. Treat yourself for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Won't want to miss this Chris playing I Spy with Derek's background action.
Yeah. The things on the wall and the grid pattern. Ron very, very lovingly made this little Batman and this little Batman symbol for my son out of those beads that you kind of like put them together and then melt them. Mm-hmm. That's what those. There must be those. Yeah, it must be those up on the wall.
I think those are actually all the masks from Majora's Mask. I believe.
Oh, really?
I believe. And you can also see some characters from Undertale back there between the curtains. Fair.
And I think I see is that the Fallout Boy guy right above Ron's P. Oh,
yeah, that's Pip Boy right there. Little Pippy. Oh.
We got Pip Boy. Okay, and there's the man himself.
Hey,
got that Pip.
I'm the pisser. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
I like to piss.
I was gonna say piss or piss, but it's too quick.
So
definitely piss.
While we're on the topic, what do you think, Derek? Do bees have buttholes?
Where do you think the honey comes from?
Oh, no.
Actually, I think the real answer is that they vomit it out. So every time you've enjoyed honey, you're eating bee vomit. You fucking
That's-
animal.
That's fine with me.
It's so
tasty.
good. Who cares?
Yeah, right?
All right, I can't wait to get into this.
I mean, if vanilla comes from beaver asshole, I still like that. So
Yeah.
hasn't stopped me yet.
I'm afraid to ask where chocolate comes from.
Yeah, Derek, where's chocolate come from?
You know that
Please
old
try to time those jokes when I don't take a sip of water.
you know that old adage, is it? What do you
Yeah,
call
no, that works.
Yes,
Adage.
probably.
Milk lemonade. Huh?
Yeah, it's not round the corner chocolate's made though, Scott. So where's chocolate get made?
In the fudge factory, baby boy.
Duh.
Yeah.
So is fudge
Have you
a
ever
type
been to
of
the
chocolate?
Have you ever been to the Shore Points?
Oh, I have an existential question. Is fudge a form of chocolate or is chocolate a form of fudge?
Oh. Does not compute.
Boom.
I would say that fudge is a form of chocolate.
Now that we have this tool called Google at our fingertips, I could find out, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna
Wouldn't
leave
be
the
fun.
mystery
Wouldn't
alive.
be fun.
No,
Yeah.
wouldn't be fun. So Scott and I were talking, I think right before you hopped in, Derek, and we were thinking we'll do RE8 last.
Perfect.
So we're gonna start out with Train to Busan, Peninsula, and Bad Batch. Actually, let's do Bad Batch first because the other three are all kind of horror related. So
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and to be fair to the boys here, the excitement level was pretty mediocre, and to be honest, even from myself, it was pretty mediocre. I know these characters, and I like the time that I've spent with them in the Clone Wars series, but I had an epiphany. Okay, and we're talking about the Bad Batch, by the way. The first 2 episodes are out. They released the initial intro episode, which was an hour and 15. It was literally a mini movie.
Yeah.
And then they released the second one, which is just a regular 20, 30 minutes. It was last week or the week before, and you guys were talking about how you were falling out of love with Star Wars just a little bit. Like not in like I hate it mode, but like, look, there's too much of it for me to give a shit about.
I mean, I hate a lot of it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You hate a lot of it. That's okay. I'm not mad at you for it. And when I was watching this, all I could think of was like, this doesn't need to exist. It's not doing anything. So, and realistically, the only way you can enjoy this, because spoiler alert, I know neither of you did, and I know that I did, is the only way that at least I think that you can truly enjoy the show is if you've watched Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and you have all this ancillary knowledge of where the trials and tribulations that these characters have been through, and therefore can, enjoy what's happening now, watching them go through Order 66 and how they come out the other side and make their decisions to kind of turn against the Empire, and all that good stuff. There's one thing that I will ding this episode for immediately and without question, and that is that there's a spoiler alert again. There's a very young Kanan Jarrus in this episode who's the Freddie Prinze Jr. Jedi from Star Wars Rebels, and they use Freddie Prinze, and it sounds bad because he's like a grown fucking man voicing like a young kid, and it's off-putting the entire time.
Oh, Caleb
Doom.
is-
That's
yeah.
that's Kanan Jarrus, yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of fucked me up because
Me too.
he's just
It's like, hey guys.
grown- yeah. No. Whoa, buddy. This kid's testicles dropped really early. He must have a heavy gravity on his planet.
I gotta be
Heavy
honest with
gravity.
you. I didn't even notice that. I was too busy watching the ridiculous spectacle of these guys, like pushing the boulder down a hill. Cool, that's tactical. But then running in, like just barehanded and punching. Like the fuck do these guys think they are? The A-Team? This is the corniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. We had an argument a few weeks ago about how like the clones aren't all one-dimensional. My name's Rekka, and I like to blow things up. Why can't I blow things up? I'm Rekka. Like it was every single character in this. His name is what he does. All their names are what they do, and they all suck at what they do. I hate the show so much. The eyes are so animated, so beautiful, they glisten, but then everything else about them looks like it's a little wooden doll that someone painstakingly carved in a jail cell, because I felt like I was in prison watching this fucking show. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Derek, how did you feel about Bad Batch?
I wanted to like it. I really did. I couldn't bring myself to. It was really boring to me. And the thing that I realized, the epiphany that I had about it is I am done with the Skywalker era. I'm done with the Palpatine era. I'm done with Order 66. Like the moment it was like it started, I'm like, all right, this is okay. And I had the same thing. Like, oh, the guy named Wrecker is really fucking foolhardy, and the guy named Sharpshooter has a fucking bullseye on his eye or whatever the hell his name is. It's like, we get it. All right. But the moment it was like execute Order 66 and all that happened, I was just like, how many fucking perspectives do I have to see this same fucking event from? Like, I just don't, I just don't care anymore. The other thing that I hated, like viscerally, was that they were like, oh, the reasons that the stormtroopers followed through with Order 66 is because they were programmed with some gene to listen to commands no matter what. I hated that more than midichlorians. I hated it so much. I don't know if that
there's actually a chip. They thought they were speculating early on that there's wow. I just realized how much of a nerd I sound like, and it hit me all at once.
The inhibitor chip, right?
Yeah, there's actually an inhibitor chip, and the reason that most of these guys are fine is because they're like rejects. They either don't have it or it got fried or fucked up somehow.
Right.
And the marksman guy, I actually forget his name. Probably just marksman. His is like still kind of functioning, and then they like turn the fucking crank up on it, and he goes full bad boy.
Yeah.
But
I hate that though. Like I think that one of my favorite things about Order 66 for my whole life as a Star Wars fan has been that there's this huge tragedy of like, this entire army of people who like befriended the Jedis and then were so indoctrinated by, Emperor Palpatine that they turned on their friends. Like, I just felt like that was so sad and such a like beautifully tragic thing. And to just go like, well, they had chips in their brains that made them do it. It was just like, oh, so like now 20 years of me really liking this one real tragic thing is just like, well, they didn't have a choice. I actually like really cannot tell you how much I hated that. I don't know if that was like in lore before this already and I just had never heard of it.
Yeah, it was.
It was. Okay. Yeah, I hate that. I just can't stand that. I don't know. Animation is great. Like, I don't like clearly the work that was put into the animation is incredible by incredibly talented people, but it's just the style I can't get into. I agree with Scott. It's like the wooden
like stop motion
thing,
a little bit, right?
Yeah, is a good analogy. And the sharpshooter guy was just so cartoonishly bad. I'm like, there's just no way that he's like literally like nah, like it's just like, he's like Skeletor. Like it's just not. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna give it one more episode. I told myself when we started this show, any show I'll give 2 episodes, and so I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna watch one more. Beyond that, I can't make any promises.
It's okay. I really don't care if I'm the only one that watches it, and then if something cool lore-wise comes up, I just tell you about it on the podcast. Like, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, look, I am still. I mean, yeah, I am a little disenfranchised with Star Wars. If I have to be honest with you guys, I am a little bit, but it's not stopping me from. Like I said, I've watched all the Clone Wars and all of Rebels, and I do have attachments to some of these characters, even if some of the storylines and dialogue are cheesy and over the top. That's Star Wars has always kind of fucking been cheesy and over the top. Spoiler alert. Actually, Star Wars nerd. I got a little emotional when 66 happened and Caleb Doom watched his master get cut down. Anytime I see a young Padawan watch his master get killed, it bothers me. I just, again, Star Wars, that's just ingrained in me.
Yeah.
The inhibitor chip thing was not done well here. How I think it was done very well in the, now that I know you guys won't watch it, in the end of the Clone Wars series where they focus on Ahsoka and how she, was telling you about, I thought you should watch it, focusing on how she survives through 66. She's on a cruiser full of troopers, and she got to a point in her career with the troopers where like this whole platoon honored her by like painting her colors on their helmets, and they like, she was like really good friends with them and stuff. And like the fact that they couldn't help themselves, but some of them were actively trying to stop it, was like heartbreaking to me. I know you were like inhibitor chip is a stupid fucking thing, but when you're watching it and one of them is like shaking, he's like go, like trying to hold back from firing because he can't help himself. Some of that stuff hit for me. This episode it didn't. It felt like a throwaway thing. They were like, look, this is where Kanan was when 66 happened. You hit fan service. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
See, I feel like I'm indoctrinated to not give a fuck about any Jedi that doesn't have the last name Skywalker at this point. If I'm being because it's just
that's part of the problem, Scott.
Well, the problem is that this entire era is so fucking boring because the entire fighting force of the clone army are copy paste, and this show proves that these are supposed to be like the standout guys, and they're all so one dimensional. I know I've only watched 2 episodes so far, but the first one was an hour and fucking 15 minutes, and they all just say what they do. You're Hunter. Why don't you track him? You're the tracker, Hunter, or whatever the fuck his name was. And he has the half a skull on his face. Like he has the fucking corpse paint on. It's so bad. I'm sorry, man. Like I think the Clone Wars are boring, and delving into them as much as we do, it feels like these shows actively ruin the prequels even more because you're showing these overwhelming forces of the droid army in Revenge of the Sith, and they're all clearly just they're no better than stormtroopers. If these guys can run in and wipe out a platoon of them with hand-to-hand combat, like there's so much plot armor, and none of these characters are worth saving with that plot armor.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
I will agree with you on the seeing Caleb, who I thought, with my extremely minimal knowledge of the background, or that maybe Caleb was Cal Kestis, and then obviously that was made apparent to not be the case very early on. Is Fallen Order is canon, right? I think that was established as canon.
Yeah, it's canon.
And so I agree that scene where he runs back to go save her was great, but compare that to when Cal's master sacrificed himself to save Cal. I'm tearing up just thinking of that fucking scene. That was just
Can we all just stop? Can we all just
incredible.
Stop what we're doing right now and once again just suck the dick of Fallen Order about how much we can't wait for the sequel?
Fucking good. Oh my god, it's such a good game.
It's the best Star Wars game ever made. Sorry,
it really
Kotar.
is. It is.
Little Metroidvania, little Dark Souls-ish combat, little fucking so good. Chef's kiss.
When you play on Jedi Master, there's nothing more satisfying than nailing those fucking parries and reflecting those blaster bolts back at the stormtroopers.
Yeah,
dude, it's so satisfying.
Remember the name of that one character in the game who really was boring and one dimensional?
No,
yeah,
there wasn't a single one.
None. They were all incredible.
My man Grizz had a dark past, but he was a kind soul.
Yeah. It ain't easy being greasy, boys.
I remember every fucking character in that game. They all another thing that kind of bothered me is they made fucking Forrest Whitaker skinny and handsome.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that. What's his fucking name?
Saul Guerrero.
Yeah, Saul Guerrero.
Looks like this. Book on it.
That was good. You're on. Dude, Scott is on the hook right now for voice acting for Saul Guerrero and for Super Mario Brothers.
I don't know about all that. Maybe Super Mario Brothers.
That's a pretty good.
There's no way I'm getting Wario though. Elon Musk locked that shit down on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Son of his now.
Fallen Order's great. I like Bad Batch. I know you guys don't. It's okay. I didn't expect either of you to. I went in. This is exactly played out how I expected it to. I'll keep you apprised. If anything sick happens lore-wise, that I'm sure I'll care about, and you guys will say, meh. No, I'll save it up for you. Okay. Enough about Bad Batch. We're going to talk about Train to Busan Peninsula, and then we're going to get into Castlevania, and then we're going to blow our loads on Lady D's chest if she lets us, because we've all been very bad boys.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure we get consent. We don't want to end up in diddler court with Franco.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She has to. But
she's also thousands of years old, probably, right? So there's no way
we just be in regular creep court.
Yeah.
So Train to Busan Peninsula was a direct to Shudder, right? It went straight to the streaming service. It's Shudder exclusive.
Yeah.
Built in the same world as Train to Busan, obviously, just a different set of circumstances. I think we all watched it and all have thoughts on it. I don't want to go first. I have thoughts, and I'm not sure if anyone else shares them. So, Derek, how did you feel about Train to Busan Peninsula?
I watched it 4 days ago, and I forget half of it.
Well, half of it was just Fast and Furious with zombies.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, thank fucking God. Thank you so fucking much.
The one thing I realized about the movie was like zombies had if you took the zombies out of the movie, like the movie remains the same. Like there was no reason for this to be a sequel to Train to Busan or have any of those themes whatsoever. It was just like go into the bad city and get the thing and then get out. But there's also bad people in there that want it too. Like zombies had no fucking bearing on the story whatsoever. I don't remember. I'm not kidding. Like I don't remember most of what happened. It was just not a good movie.
Can I talk? Can I just go ahead?
All I'm gonna say is that this movie had like, for me, one moment where I was like, "Fuck yes!" The rest of it, I could take it or leave it. When they had that game going on in the middle of the mall courtyard, and they opened that gate and that Rat King zombie of like all these rotted.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
Like the practical effects in that had my eyes light up like the 4th of July. But aside from that, man, like it felt so now these are characters. These are supposed to be characters from the first one. You see them pass on the road in the first one. Right?
Okay.
I don't think so. I thought it was like months later.
No. The beginning when they show him like passing by the lady with the baby and the husband.
Oh, yeah.
So like I thought that was kind of a cool aspect to see like another person's story that had been at that one point in time with them before. I kind of like the ending too. I'm not gonna lie. I like that he went back for her. I like that he kind of like got redemption.
I like that he didn't sacrifice himself. Right? Didn't he actually get out?
He got out.
Well, she was gonna sacrifice herself, and he's like. He hears his dead brother-in-law's words and says, "Did you even try?"
Yeah,
and he's
right.
Like, I liked the ending.
That was cool. I'll give you that. That was a good little.
It surprised me a little bit because I was like, okay, she's gonna die, but this feels weird because these kids are just going off with this strange dude now for the rest of their lives. And then I was like, okay, he's gonna die. She's gonna get back.
Yeah.
He's gonna sacrifice himself because he was a dickhead. And then I was like, oh shit, he's gonna live. Good job, movie. You surprised me. I did not expect him to survive.
Oh wait, I just remembered the like 8-year-old girl doing all the like drifting, running over like literally dozens of zombies, and it's not slowing down the car whatsoever or doing anything whatsoever. Boy.
I remember when it was like the first scene of them driving into the city, and they weren't even doing anything crazy, but all the cars were CGI, including that one. And I remember thinking, oh boy, because it wasn't even. Yeah. Obviously, we all know the trick, right? If CGI is done well, it just enhances the film. Like it just makes the spectacle a bit bigger. It doesn't pull you out of it. But when it's done shittily, it looks like it belongs on the Sci-Fi Channel. And most of the car stuff in this looked really fucking bad.
Yeah, it looked like a cutscene from like a Resident Evil game or Parasite Eve.
Yeah,
like it looked really bad, man. And I don't
look like someone made like a mashup trailer between like Resident Evil 6 and Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah,
Oof. They modded Jill Valentine into the car and everything.
I know they can't all be winners, guys. But when we have Army of the Dead coming up, I really wanted to get a good zombie movie in before we have to sit through that shit show. You know what I mean?
You don't know.
Army of the Dead's gonna be so bad. I love Dave Bautista. I'm gonna cheer for him while he undoubtedly mows down waves of zombies who'll probably be huddled holding their loved one, crying in fear because now zombies are people again, with emotions and feelings and.
I feel like it's gonna be stupid good though. Like I feel like it's gonna be like this is so dumb that it's kind of fun.
We're gonna find out soon, boys.
Yeah.
Soon.
You know what comes out tomorrow, boys? Spiral, Book of Saw.
It does. When does that come out again? I've asked you this like 6 times.
Tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow?
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's
as
soon as it gets.
I'm going to see it tomorrow before work.
Homework. Nice. We have homework. We're going to have to try and get it somehow.
Yeah.
May 21st.
Like I said, once theaters reopen, it's just going to have to be Scott on his cell phone in the movie theaters, just live streaming it to us.
May 21st is Army of the Dead, so we're not going to have watched it by the next podcast, but the one after, so 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay, so before we move on, Dave Bautista was cast in Knives Out. This is a decent segue. We just found out. Not really crazy newsworthy, and it's a week in review thing that we didn't think was important enough to copy, but Dave Bautista, and who was the other one that just got cast?
Agatha.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Who is a sweetie pie, and I want her to get all the fucking acting gigs in the world because she did a great turn in WandaVision. So I mean, hey, we said the sequel had to get good actors and actresses, right? So so far I'm off to a decent start. Okay, so the next up, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else to say about Busan. I'm sorry, I'd kind of just like
I'm ready to get to that meaty,
okay.
meaty
Yeah, that you guys both felt exactly
course.
the same as I did. I thought I was like, okay, this is just silly. A couple of the emotional beats worked all right for me. The ending was cool.
Yeah. I thought the villains were good. Like, I hated everybody who was supposed to be a bad guy, which is, you know.
Yeah. The piece of shit, like, captain of the... And how did he even get in power? He was like, who would have let that guy tell him what to do? Anyway, yeah. The off-color joke, that is just like, the guy's like, you guys are gay? And it was,
yeah.
Yes, let's pretend to be homosexuals to get out of this circumstance. Anyway... Next, we're going to talk about Castlevania. So, Castlevania Season 4 actually, I think, just dropped like today, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like, it's out.
really?
I just saw a fucking thing that said it was out. We all decided collectively we were going to start watching it because the trailer for 4 alone was good enough. And so spoiler alert, I'm caught up. I'm ready for Season 4.
Oh, shit. I only watched Season 1.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's fine. And that's all we agreed on. I just have had a little bit of spirit. It's the kind of show because they're only half hour long. So I would just put a game on or something, or do some work and just play it. And every so often, my eyes would go, "Stop what you're doing," because that shit looks really fucking cool. And then I would come back, and I just burned through them. And spoiler alert, I think the show's fucking really good. I like the writing. The action is in some parts off the fucking charts. Season 1 is good, but there's not as much action as I would have liked. And if you guys continue watching it, Season 2 has some fucking juice action scenes in it, like giant goth pierced titties. And Scott, how'd you like Season 1?
I liked it. I really do like it, but it felt to me a little disjointed at certain parts. It felt like it was meant to be a movie that they decided to make into a series after it was finished, and they split it off in all these awkward parts where, like, I'm glad that I sat and watched it all at once, because if I wouldn't have, it would have felt weird jumping back in at some of the points I was at. Mm-hmm. There were a few parts that felt like they were also edited for time, like in the first episode where we see Trevor Belmont in the bar, and he's getting ready to get his ass beat with a chair, and then we just cut to him outside the bar. We don't see that action play out. It felt kind of weird to me at certain points, like things had been edited maybe for violence or maybe for time. It really felt like it was supposed to be a feature that then became a series. But I liked all the characters. I liked the voice acting. I love the animation. I really, really hate
the
all
voice acting is like A1, dude.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
So
it's
good.
Fucking,
yeah. I can absolutely give you that, and especially with Season 1. I think Season 2 fixes the pacing and cutting stuff, but there was something weird that happened with Season 1 because it was like the whole season was like a pilot, basically. Like, it's only 4 episodes. It's super short. The other ones, Season 2 is 8 episodes. And Season 3 is 10. Yeah. It's something weird. It's like maybe they were doing the fucking animated feature, and then someone was like, "We're not paying you for this, so just cut it into 4s." I have no idea. Yeah, Season 2 will probably fix pacing, mostly because I don't know, something. I'm gonna coin this term. Something fucky was going on with Season 1. I don't know all the behind the scenes drama, but like a 4-episode, 2-hour basically Castlevania thing for Season 1. It's felt really weird.
Yeah. I think the entire first season of Castlevania is almost as long as the first episode of The Bad Batch was.
Yeah,
that's actually true. Derek, how'd you feel overall about Season 1? I know you like the voice acting a lot.
I love it. So I'm 4 episodes into Season 2, I think.
Not 4, listeners. 4.
I think that the animation is incredible. I think the voice acting is great. By the way, Trevor Belmont is Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit movies.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, shit, it is.
The Godbrand is the... I should really know this guy's name. He's the Russian guy from...
yeah, I looked at it. I sounded familiar from John Wick, right?
From John... Well, he's the Russian guy in everything.
From
John
everything.
Wick. From fucking Armageddon. Yeah, that's Godbrand. So anyway, I think...
It was the devil in Constantine.
Constantine.
Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
There's a lot of big
Buscemi in a
names.
wood chipper in Fargo.
Yeah. And somehow, even though he was the devil, he was a Russian devil. So I don't, you figure that out.
I mean, the devil probably is Russian, right?
It's got to be. They're just the scariest people on the face of the planet, aren't they? No, I think it's really good. I think that what a lot of animated shows suffer from is having characters that aren't contrasted from one another well enough, and some of them have the same personality, some of them kind of dress the same, and it sort of like makes them not seem individual. Holy shit, right. Every single character in this show is like just themselves. They have their own personalities and their own ideals and their own, it's really, really well done. Like every single character was thought out very, very well. I'm loving it. I can't wait to get caught up. I can't wait to watch season 4. That's about it.
Yeah, season 2 is like the show proper. Like season 1 and 2 were supposed to be together, I think, because season 2 is only 8 episodes and not 10 like season 3 is. And season 2 has a proper like beginning, middle, and big conclusion. Season 2 is fucking choice, and I implore you to watch it, Scott, in your free time.
Oh, there's this shot, and I just want to say, in season 1, the action was sort of like few and far between. I get it; they had a budget to follow, but there's this one shot in any of these animes where we've talked about this before, where like animation generally, when they're just talking scenes, the frame rate is low because it has to be to save money, and then in the action, they really kind of blow their load. There's a scene where he like spins his spear and like kills the guy in front of him, and then it like lands on his shoulder, and he like launches it up at an archer who like it pierces that archer through the head, and then he looses his arrow that hits another archer, and it's done in like 200 frames per second. Dude, it's so well animated. So I was like, oh my god. I was like
that fucking alleyway, gushing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it was so good. Such a good shot. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. And thankfully there's a lot more action in season 2. Yeah. I would recommend it hardcore. I actually don't think I'm finished season 3. I think I have like 1 episode left. Right. But either way, I'm amped up to check out 4. But I think that's it. And jumping on to Castlevania, this is what we've all been waiting for. Boys, pull your pants down. It's time to talk about Resident Evil 8 Village. This week we did not delay the podcast this late in the week for RE8. We had some just scheduling issues. Just real life gets in the way, unfortunately. Yeah. But last night we had the chance to record and realized that both Derek and Scott were planning on finishing it last night. And we said, fuck it, give it one more night. Let everybody catch up so we can talk about the ending. So just as a warning, and I'm only saying this, I'm saying this unironically for the first time on the podcast because the game came out about a week ago. Yeah. Spoiler alert. We are going to talk about everything. If you have not played the game, then goodbye. We'll see you next week. This is the last thing we're talking about. It's been fun. Yeah. Catch you next episode. If you're still here, holy shit, boys.
I also think it's good to, if you're still here before you've gone, I think that we should probably set some kind of arbitrary date for maybe like a week from now where we'll lift spoiler ban on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just to
I would say give it 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's fair. Fair play.
Next Friday's fair game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the guy who has limited playtime every night can get through it as quickly as I got through it, 2 weeks is plenty of time, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you had like an hour a night to play, you'd be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like if you don't do everything, if you don't go hunting down all these rare animals and stuff, it's a 10 to 10 hour playthrough.
Yeah. If you haven't finished it yet, turn the podcast. What are you doing? Turn the podcast off. Go play it right now. What are you doing, you idiot? So, boys, get out of here.
Let's take it piece by piece here.
Please.
That fucking intro, that opening, you get situated in the house and you know it's fucking coming, but you didn't. I didn't expect it to come that fast. No. Like that came.
That's what she said.
Yeah, well, I knew that was coming too. Did she say that as well? So are we stuck in an endless loop now?
No. I'm good. I'm holding it in.
That's not good for your prostate.
So my doctor tells me that all the time. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm waiting. I'm waiting in the house for the shoe to drop. I'm like, what's going to fuck? Is something going to break in the house? And then it surprised me, right? Derek, what happened in the house?
So you're in the house and you put your just sweet baby little girl to bed. Just sweet angel Rose.
No. First off, they always animate babies terribly in video games. And I loved the relationship, and I get it. And the father-daughter thing was very sweet. But the baby always looks fucking weird in a game. And Rose is no exception. I'm sorry. She looks fucking weird.
I'm sorry, but the baby in Death Stranding is the best part about Death Stranding.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, agreed.
Animated
Surprisingly,
beautifully and so vibrant and oh god.
surprisingly, you're right. That's the best part of Death Stranding. I agree. Not a weird looking baby in Death Stranding.
BB.
Holy shit! He just does like an epiphany.
BB.
That was the
Anyway,
one thing I
you
loved
put it
about
to
that
bed.
game. Yeah. Anyway,
That game felt meaningless to me, and for some reason I played it far longer than I expected before ultimately being disappointed. But hey, fuck it, baby was great. Let's continue.
you know what did not
I'm sorry.
disappoint? Resident Evil Village, boys.
Oh fuck yeah, boys!
Not
I
at
like
all.
that Scott. I like that Scott's the one keeping us on topic right now.
Well, no,
It really
because
didn't,
like
though.
you don't understand. Oh, I mean, you understand, but the listeners, I have played through every numbered Resident Evil in the last month leading up to this. I have spent 15 hours at a time live, and this game, I think this might be one of the best games I've ever played. And I know that sounds like a big thing to say, but this to me,
Nope, I feel the same way.
this to me is the Metal Gear Solid of Resident Evils.
Yeah, whoa.
In a lot of in a lot of ways, right?
Hell yeah.
We have all these complex characters, all these unique and no boss fight, no section, no corridor of this village or castle or any other of the outskirts felt repetitive. At no point did I feel like I was doing busy work or remedial, even stuff that was remedial tasks to boost my health, like hunting and shit. Everything felt fun. Nothing felt like busy work.
Yeah.
And I put 15 hours in it, man. I did everything. I did everything I could.
Yeah, same. I missed one health upgrade because Scott had the same issue, I think, but I think I either missed or it despawned or I sold and didn't realize one single piece of fish and there was no extra, so I couldn't get the final upgrade. I was missing one fucking regular fish, not even like the special animal, a regular fish. Anyway, I digress.
I didn't do any of those. I didn't do. I just played. I didn't rush through it. Like I didn't. If something was in the way, or like if I saw a chest nearby, I'd go get it. But I didn't try to 100% it. I didn't get any of the health upgrades. I had like the block upgrade, and that was it.
Some things that Scott and I discovered about ourselves and our friendship that deepened our bond with this game is that we play Resident Evil games the same way.
Right.
I will let no loot crate go unbroken.
Yeah.
I will not go to that final boss unless I have done everything that I can in that map and on that game. I play most games like that, but Resident Evil especially.
I left a couple rooms red because I couldn't wait. I had to see what was going to happen. But
the red room.
Yeah, but I mean, God, everything about this game was phenomenal, man. The environments, the music, that first battle when you're fighting the Lycans and you don't realize what's happening. The arrow hits you in the leg and you think you're just dying again.
Yeah.
Everything, it was panic inducing. It was brilliant that you start with just a fucking knife and you're fending. You have to sneak around and avoid combat till you finally get a pistol. Dude, it was. Oh God.
I have two things to say before we get too far away from it. One, I have a very, very petty point to bring up. It's extremely petty. It does not in any way, shape, or form detract from the game as an experience. But if it wasn't, it's not called the Cynical Nerd for nothing. So I got to bitch about this one very small thing. Oh, mommy, what's up, girl?
There she is.
And I forget what the one thing
she
is.
gripped me up from behind. I've been bad.
Oh, hey. Can we talk about how thirsty the entire internet is? Not just us, like the fucking fly swatter meme that came out like 2 days. It's so good. So first off, I think because we've all given general thoughts that this is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. I never liked the tank controls, so I never got into the originals. 4 was my first kind of real heavy dive into Resident Evil games with the GameCube game, and I loved that. I loved that game. To me, this had, of course, because Village, it's inevitably going to contrast somewhat with Resident Evil 4, but I loved it. Like Scott said, all the boss fights were unique. All the areas had a complete different feel to them. So, and even the puzzles, even though there's some connecting ones like the ball game, that's fine, that's whatever. Even the map puzzles of like where you have to go and figure out, none of them felt like copy paste. They all felt like totally unique kind of challenges. Yeah. The whole thing with like the Duke in the elevator in the factory, I was like, that's such a cool idea. Just little stuff like that. Like so much thought was put into the world about just level design and how you're getting around and how the atmosphere kind of steers the player to do the right thing, but you still second guess yourself all the time. Before we do any more deep dives, because I have a lot that I want to talk about, and I know we have a lot that we all want to discuss, especially in regards to the ending and the big twist with Ethan's character, and ultimately the big sad TM after that, is my one tiny infinitesimal gripe, which is at the end of Louise's house and I was in Scott's stream bitching about this while he was doing it, was this girl and her father, and she goes back to save him. Whatever, that's fine. It was predictable as she would die like that, but it's fine until you guys are standing in an attic where the entire house is on fire, smoke billowing up, and they're just standing having a conversation with no urgency, and there's an open window right there. Like, go outside first. One, I know, infinitesimal, I'm telling you, small grape. Two, after she falls, he stares from the top floor over the open fire for like 40 seconds. Like, just look straight down at this massive heat wave. And I'm like, your skin's gone. You're fucking dead, bro.
I don't know if you noticed this, Chris, but Ethan has regenerative properties.
All right, well, now that I know that...
That bully's Wolverine.
I feel like I just talked a lot for no reason, so I have a lot that I want to say, but I'm going to stay myself, and one of you two can take the floor.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that this it's one of the best video games I've ever played. It reminded me a lot of a BioShock game. That same kind of feel of like getting all the kind of like tools that you need and upgrading and yada yada. The map design was like god tier. I mean, like literally god tier. The weapons all felt like different. I felt like the upgrade system was great. Like, I hate games where you can just upgrade everything to be maximum and then you just have a bunch of fucking, like, golden guns from GoldenEye. Like, I like that I had to decide, like, do I want to upgrade, you know, and do more damage with my sniper rifle? Or is it more important that I buy this, you know, automatic shotgun so I have like a wider array of tools at my disposal? I liked making those choices where like, I don't know what was what. The boss fights were like fucking incredible. They were amazing. And I love that they varied it up. Like there was the one, I can't think of her name. It was like the Italian name, the doll one.
Yeah.
Which wasn't really a boss fight. That was something like that. That was like the most horrifying thing I've ever fucking...
That house was terrifying.
Yeah. And like literally it was like 2 a.m. and like I showed Ron the baby and like I was walking around a corner and like all the music went away and out loud I was high as fuck. And I'm like, the baby's coming back. The baby's coming back. I know the baby's coming back. The baby's coming back. And as soon as it went like just popped out and I just screamed at the top of my fucking lungs. That thing was terrifying.
Oh, dude, did you hide under the bed from it?
Oh yeah, and then it just like slithers this disgusting fucking worm body by dude, terrible. But my two, again, this being the cynical nerd, the two very minor gripes that I have is there were some movement things that irked me a little bit, like especially in Heisenberg's palace, you had those guys that you sort of had to like wait for them to charge and then get behind them and shoot them. And like they do the charge into the wall and there's like very clearly enough space for you to get by. Yeah. But for some reason you go out, you get like clipped on something, you're stuck, and then you just get like so there was like tiny little stuff here and there like that was annoying. And the only other gripe I have, which is not really a gripe at all, this doesn't feel like a fair thing, but the Heisenberg boss fight was one of the best boss fights I have ever done in my entire life in any video game.
It's very fun.
And so it made me feel like that final one was going to one-up it, and then it kind of wasn't as fun as the Heisenberg one. Like, it was just kind of like shoot her till she dies. Still a good boss fight, but it just like the Heisenberg one, the penultimate boss fight, was like, I was literally like every hair on my body was standing on end. I was having so much fun. And then to just have one where it's just kind of like, yeah, you just got to keep shooting her and she'll die eventually. It was a little like, all right. I mean, bad, but
she had a lot of forms though, bro. She had like three different forms.
And each of them encourage you to use a different weapon. They don't make you, but like she's got the balls and you should pull the handgun out and pop them. And then the sniper rifle when she's in the air and the shotgun when she has the spider leg, you know, like I thought that was cool. I was going to say my one criticism, even between 7 and 8, that they completely wiped away with a totally valid storyline was I kept thinking, and this is a good segue to the big sad TM, I kept thinking, this is like, I know I'm in a Resident Evil game, I get it, it's a video game, it's a ridiculous world, I have to accept that to some degree, but I was like, in 7 he gets something chopped off and then puts it back on, and I was like, what? I was like, that's just supposed to be fine. Never brought up again, masterfully. And in this one, he loses fingers, and I was like, okay. I thought they were gonna grow back. That would have been fucking super ridiculous. They didn't. But then his hand gets chopped off by Demetra. And same thing, he super glues that bitch back on with some special. And I was like, all right, fuck that aspect of this game. And then we find out why. And I was like, you sons of bitches.
Well, I mean, it was always there in 7, right? Because the family would regenerate. Like, you literally watch the father shoot himself in the face in the garage, and then you watch his skin like reforming. You know what I mean? Like multiple times.
Just like the brain coming back and shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like it was always implied that Ethan had been infected by whatever, you know what I mean? Like by whatever they had. Cause I mean, you even hallucinate, you see the little girl, Evelyn, and they say like stage 1 of being infected by Evelyn is that you start hallucinating, you start seeing her and you start hearing her and you become part of this hive mind where it's basically, it's a fungus that grows in your brain. And it's kind of like how, like, you know, like some kind of some funguses can grow on ants and control their movement and shit like that. Yeah. It's basically based on that. I forget what it's called.
Would you guys call it the fungus mungus?
No, I would not. Thank you for asking. I'm glad that we closed the book on that.
I didn't hold that one in. That would have been a dumb smirk for about 30 seconds until someone asked me what. So you're welcome. I got it out early.
I just have to say, my only gripe with these games is that Ethan, like when you finally see a character model of what he looks like, he just looks like the poster boy for Raisin Bran. He looks so fucking boring and copy. Like he looks like he works at the post office. Like he looks so boring.
Yeah, he looks like he'd tell a story about how he switched to tea instead of coffee, and that it was just okay. You know what I mean?
He looks like he pulls his penis through his boxers to have sex. He doesn't even take them off. He just pulls it through the hole.
Ew, that's grotesque.
He's never nude.
He's never like wears a t-shirt in the shower.
Yeah, it looks like he wears swimmies in the shower. Like he's afraid of drowning. But
he's pretty generic.
Ethan was kind of like, like they never really gave us a reason to give a fuck about him until this game. I felt like through all of 7, he was a faceless protagonist, voice acted very well. But they never gave us a reason to give a fuck about him. Like the person he's supposed to be there to save chainsaws his hand off in the first 15 minutes of the game, and the rest of the game you spend your time wondering why the fuck he didn't just walk out, hop the fence, and get the fuck out of there. Why are you still there?
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? This gave him an actual reason to be where he was. I thought it was cool how they blended the fairy tale book into the Nightmare Village. And oh my god, man, I had it in my head that Chris Redfield was as big a piece of shit as Ada Wong is for 90% of this game, and I didn't see the twist coming. I didn't see that coming at all. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else before we get into that, but I mean,
all I wanted to say was that I just thought that like every twist in this game was like something that you see with a lot of modern games, especially games that come out of Japan, frankly, is that like the twists are so like come on, like they're so fucking far gone. Like every twist was like relative to sort of the rest of the game. And what I mean by that is like, think of the Final Fantasy VII remake and like the last 10th of that game where it just goes off the fucking rails, totally not relative to the tone or like narrative of the rest of the game. All these twists were like, they were big, they were awesome, but none of them were like cheap. You know what I mean? Like they all made sense.
Yeah.
I just like to say though, I didn't play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I watched you play it, so I didn't have to. And I want to thank you for playing that so I could watch you play that and saving me the time.
I was blackout drunk for just almost all of that.
The look on your face when you realized you couldn't play as Red was soul crushing.
Yeah. It wasn't good. It didn't feel good. Still doesn't.
Mm-mm. But obviously,
and now there's a DLC where you can play as Yuffie. Cool.
I'd rather not have all my materia stolen. That's okay. No, but we lose Lady Demestre. We lose her maybe 2-3 hours into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was not a Capcom
heartbreaking loss.
Yes. This is not a Capcom hype train. The internet just got real horny, and we did this to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So that was the first heartbreak. But also, like, come on, we got to talk about that fucking ending, boys. We gotta.
I actually liked that they got rid of Lady D in the beginning. I was under the impression the entire time that Lady D was like the big bad. And the fact
no,
that
I agree. Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. She's just another one of the people. Like, I actually really like that they hid that. My question for you guys is, when she's in her big dragon, like Chernobyl elephant foot form, would you still?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
I'd let her step on me still.
Yeah, I'd want her to put her, like, before she transforms, her foot into my ass and then have her transform. I just want her to open me.
Oh no!
Yeah, just fucking gobble me up like a fruit roll-up. Anyway, the daughters' fights were fun. Woman. In all seriousness, the daughters' fights were cool too, where you had to expose them to the cold, and then they just fucking turned to ash. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, them yelling, "Why are you doing this?" Like, bitch, you just tried to kill me in the dark. What the fuck do you mean? Yeah,
yeah. What do you mean? Why am I doing this? I mean, trying to infect me with bloat flies for like 40 minutes.
One thing that a lot of recent Resident Evils have suffered from is that all the enemies are bland and repetitive. This game had so many awesome enemy designs. Every area had like unique ghouls and creatures. Yeah. I loved every minute of combat in this game. Like I wish Mercenaries was co-op so we could all dive in. I would buy it on PC to play co-op with you boys if I could.
I thought that all the enemy types were cool, especially they were a pain in the fucking ass, but the Mad Max zombies at the end with the drills on their hands and shit were kind of terrifying. And it's like, this game is, if you compare it to 7, and Scott, it's the freshest in your head since you just played it. 7 is so much more leans into like suspenseful.
Yeah, very Texas Chainsaw.
Very Texas Chainsaw. Very high suspense. There's a couple big action set pieces, but the game was not built to do that. This game is very combat intensive, and that's fine because it still blends in those tense moments. The dollhouse is a perfect example. Like Derek said, that place is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think it's just time that we talk about the big twist TM.
Yeah.
That Capcom was. This is not one of the ones that feels like it was shoehorned into me. I firmly believe that they planned for this twist in 7 and then followed through on it, which is that, spoiler alert, of course, we already gave all the warnings, but still, our arbitrary spoiler alert warning. Ethan has been dead since the events of Resident Evil 7. Well, dead in some form.
Yeah. He's a BOW. Bioorganic weapon. He is a in the same way that Mia was. You know, he's not the be all end all of the mold, but he's got that shit. He's got that.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Can we just
tell you what's not
call
dead?
him a bow wow? Just a bow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's not dead.
That bow.
Sperm in that little ball sack is not dead because he still had a baby after he got his head crushed.
Shot that mold right into Mia's flesh sock.
Oh, weird. I don't like that.
No, it just kept going. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine how weird the sex between them was? Like, he's fucking the woman, giving her a baby that, like, he shot in the chest several times. You know what I mean? Like, it's gotta be awkward.
Yeah, but I mean, she chainsawed, she scissored him in half with a chainsaw and stabbed him in the hand with a hatchet, like, a bunch of times. Like, she...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She's kind of
and also, we find out Mother Miranda had snuck in, started impersonating Mia, which gave credence to the whole, like, she's been really on edge whenever you mention the events of 7 or whatever lately.
Yeah.
How long do you think Miranda got down with him? Like, was she curious about Ethan's,
like she wanted some of that moldy
parts?
dick? Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like Mother Miranda would be a freak, man. She's got 6 wings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things are all aflutter, you know, tickling places that you didn't know you had, you know what I mean? Like, your taint is feather dusted the entire time she sucks your dick. It's got to be great.
Yeah, you're like, it kind of tickles, but I also love it. Please don't stop.
Yeah.
I also got to say about Mother Miranda, like, one thing, I felt like they did a really healthy balance between, in the end, like, Ethan and Mother Miranda had the same goal. They were trying to save their kids. Like, it made you empathize with her, but, like, it was still clear cut. Like, no, this woman's a bitch. Like, they didn't make it, like, morally ambiguous. But I did think that was cool, that it's like, this whole thing, you're Ethan, you're looking for your daughter, you just want to save your daughter, and then you find out that the big bad, that's all she's trying to do too. She's trying to do the same exact thing. I thought that added depth to her, and made her less just like, like the comic book villain. I dug that. That was the driving force behind her. She has the same goal as Ethan. She just has much cuntier ways of trying to achieve that goal. Yes, Christopher, I believe.
I actually had a question for Scott.
Mhm.
So the entire time I'm kind of perusing her little like lair where she's doing all of her experiments, and they make it very clear that she's basically the inspiration for the Umbrella Corporation, right? Like all the documentation you read, like she was where she worked with the I forget his name, Spencer. Who started Umbrella Corporation. They knew each other. The mold was first. They discovered the progenitor and then discovered the mold as like the delivery mechanism, if I'm not mistaking that. I could be fucking that part up.
The progenitor flower was discovered in Africa in like the 1940s, I want to say, or 30s, maybe 37 by Spencer.
Yeah.
You find that out in 5. That's the only bit of lore that matters in 5, coincidentally. But it came from a flower originally. That was
right.
That the tribe people thought was like a spiritual thing, like the bridge the gap between life and death for them.
Right. But this was like a major lore reveal, right? Like how did you, as a huge Resident Evil fan, like to me I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. But I'm not super huge on lore.
I mean, it would make sense that, in his travels, Spencer would have been all over the world. He was in Africa. Why wouldn't he be in Europe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't seem too weird to me that they would tie him in that way. I didn't read it as Mother Miranda being the source of the progenitor, because we already know that comes from the flower. I felt like she was the one who inspired him to use the mold delivery system, which we don't really see until 7 and 8. You know what I mean? But they also talk about multiple other delivery systems where they were injecting wolf DNA into people, which is how they explain the lycanthropes.
Right.
They and people really bitched about like, oh, we have vampires and werewolves now, and it's like we had giant walking lizard men, snakes that were like the size of a fucking Porsche for no reason. Like we had a giant shark. We had deep blue sea below the mansion, and no one bitched. Like it's just the way that they're taking the lore and they're twisting it into these other like old time fairy tales, like things that have been like myth for like hundreds of years in reality. I thought was so fucking cool. Did that answer your question, or did I just ramble? I'm sorry.
No, I was basically asking, like, did this, like, I thought the lore was cool. I was like, whatever. Yeah. Like, I didn't question how he got there, but like, was this like a huge break? Like, was this like a huge? I don't want to say breakthrough. It's like the wrong word, but like a huge reveal to you, where you're like, holy shit.
I mean, it explains a lot more for 7, more so than the rest of the series. The rest of the series still stands on its own. So you have the T virus, you have the C, you have the G virus. There's so many different strains that all do different things. But with the molded, we didn't understand where Evelyn had come from, and now we know that Evelyn was Mother Miranda's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just kind of comes full circle. Like the end of this game explains why the end of 7 made half as much sense as you felt like it should have. We got an explanation. And granted, I never played the DLCs for 7. I need to go back and do that because I'm sure they explain a little bit better. It just felt like they closed it to reference a show we've all watched very recently. They closed the loop on it. You know what I mean? And I thought perfectly. I don't think it rewrites the entire history of Resident Evil, but I think it makes sense that Spencer, in his decades of traveling the globe trying to find different ways to implement bioorganic weapons and viruses, that he would come across. He would come across the mold, and that would be the origin of it.
Yeah.
So was the mold like the vector for the T virus or something? Am I understanding that correctly?
No.
No. Okay.
I just looked it up because I wanted to make sure we weren't misspeaking, because I know we just played it, but it all happened very quickly. So the way they explain it in the books in the game via the books and notes is that Spencer stumbled upon the village and became an apprentice to Mother Miranda. And he learned all about viruses and how she was using them, experimenting on humans. And then the progenitor flower was discovered. Yeah. And he left to go study the progenitor and apply what he had learned to create the T virus. So he didn't use the mold. It wasn't like some weird. Of course, the like mold Scott said,
mold has just existed for decades.
It's just another fucking thing on the planet wanting to kill humans. And of course, like Scott said, their goals are very different. All Miranda wanted to do was resurrect her daughter Evelyn, who died from the Spanish influenza in the early 1900s. Spencer, on the other hand, we all know, wanted to use this to create a utopia and control the evolution of humans and all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
You
there
really
was no
biffed
weird,
that one,
like,
though, huh?
there was no, yeah, he whiffed on that one.
Yeah. Big old stinker.
I am 100% going back and playing 7 now. I know that it's not as good of a game as 8.
I love 7.
But I'm going back and playing it now.
The
I
boss
love
fights-
this game so much that I just want to see the beginning of Ethan's story. So
The boss fights of 7 are incredible. The Baker
Yeah.
family is so well flushed out, and like they're so likable, even though they're horrifying.
yeah,
They're charismatic in the way that like you watch fucking Charles Manson behind bars, like that guy's fucking crazy, but
Yeah.
I
get it.
kind of want to sit down with him for 20 minutes and just let him unload his crazy.
yeah.
Maybe he can unload it in Chris's cup. Who knows?
Yeah. I got it ready for it. Dispensary.
No, but the molded in that game, like the enemy varieties in that game, like the common enemies, there's like 3
Poo-poo.
different types, and they all suck.
Yeah, it's poo-poo.
Uh,
I would say the biggest selling point I'm sorry to cut you off, Scott.
no, go ahead.
Um,
That's all I had to say is that the enemy types in that one suck, but it's definitely worth getting through.
Yeah.
If you,
As a-
yeah,
As opposed to what I said earlier, where 8 is much more heavy on like combat. It still has scares, obviously. Still has very scary parts too.
yeah.
7 is way more on the suspenseful side. It has some, in my opinion, truly horrifying
I
moments.
remember that
like,
much of it. I remember being scared shitless by it.
Even like the Baker fight in the garage where you can't get away from him. It's the whole time I'm like, you know what I mean? Like it's just terrifying. There's a lot of stuff in that game that I thought was very well, but it's like it's a totally different horror feel to me. It's like Scott said, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I mean, it literally they literally stole the Dennis Hopper Leatherface chainsaw fight from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and made it a boss battle. Like
it's true.
It's like it couldn't be more inspired from the table setting where you wake up surrounded by these ridiculous people.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Everyone who could help
7.
it. Yeah, it does a lot of things right. It's just it went on for too long at the end, and the end is just a slog of just the same enemy types that never stop spawning, and you hate them.
That's true.
But the Bakers themselves and the boss fights are all insanely memorable, and to quote a great man, it's just a joy.
I wasn't sure where you're going with that one. I appreciate the compliment. Do we have anything left to say, or are we ribbity wrapped?
I mean, do we even talk about Ethan dying?
Oh, we didn't.
We didn't even talk about the twist.
The father's story has ended.
Yeah.
Did anyone else weep like a bitch when that happened? Because
I got teary eyed. I wouldn't say I wept, but I did. Her visiting his grave was definitely
Yeah.
And the
one
part
hurt.
where her driver was like, you're a lot like him or something like that was like, that was a tough moment.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what they're gonna do with the next one. Like, is Rose gonna be
Theory time.
theory time?
Well, I mean, Resident Evil has come. Resident Evil. Capcom has come out and said that this is supposed to be a trilogy about Ethan Winters. So how's it supposed to be a trilogy if he's dead in the end of the second one? Rose can clearly control the mold, and the mold. I know that they blew up the Megamite, but we know it's not gone, right? Because she's still powerful as shit. So where's she getting the power from? And they said that the mold stores consciousness, like literally stores the consciousness of people. I mean, Miranda was trying to get a vessel that could pull her daughter's consciousness out of the Megamycete to be her daughter again. I think that Rose is going to be the main character that we play as, and then she's going to either like see her father or hear her father as like a guide throughout the game. I think it's going to be like that kind of thing. Like he's not back, but he's there. Like she can talk to him.
That would be pretty fucking tight.
My guess.
Hopes and dreams for DLC for this one, boys. Right?
One of the ball gags for your mouth.
I want more. I want more Chris Redfield over the top action sequences, boys. That was fun. Joy. That was so much fun.
I actually wasn't crazy about that. Like, really? I just felt like, like initially it was fun, but then it just turned into what every shooter turns into, which is just wave after wave after wave of enemy, and you're just literally holding down left mouse button to like kill them all. And then like the first part where
sometimes you got to hit R to reload though, man. You got to switch it up.
The first part where you had like what was it, mega sight or whatever, I don't know, that you're like aiming the thing at the hammer from Gears of War. That part was cool initially. Like I liked like holding them all off, and then like as soon as you have a minute to breathe, you hit it with that a couple times. But then like the next section where you were fighting the biggin, and it was just the same thing again. I was kind of like, it's the only part of the game that felt like recycled to me. And I was sort of like just ready to be done with Chris Redfield's part at that point. Chris Redfield himself in the game was excellent. Like he was a very believable character. I loved that, like, it kind of did the Kansas City shuffle, like you had mentioned in the beginning, where you're like, holy shit, like he's an asshole now. Like something happened. Yeah. And he's a piece of shit. Like he's a
dirty cop now. Something happened.
And the fucking twist, again, relative to itself, it was a great, totally believable twist. The fact that he tried to save Ethan, and then like Ethan pushing him out of the way to like save him. And dude, that fucking scene where like Ethan turns around and looks up at it and holds up the detonator and just clicks and it cuts to black was just like, oh my God, dude, I was covered in goosebumps. That whole ending was so perfect. Yeah. It was fucking incredible.
Pretty titties.
I just totally rambled off the topic of Chris Redfield for a second there, but anyway.
No, but
I just loved that part.
The entire ending was, I mean, like, the ending's what made, like, I enjoyed every minute of this game, boys, and I got a lot of Outlast 2 vibes from Village in, like, the best fucking way possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that ending, like, I've played so many games in my life, so many horror games. I've never had one give me, like, a reaction like that. I never had one give me a lump in my fucking throat where, like, even this character who, like, is faceless, and again, the poster boy for Raisin Bran and flavor, like, if you could make a wheat thin taste like nothing, not even original flavor, it'd be, yeah.
He's like a low sodium Triscuit, right?
Yeah. but like without any texture. Like if a Triscuit was just flat like a Ritz cracker.
Yeah, and he eats them at work, they're really loud, and he explains it to everyone even though nobody asks. Like, my blood pressure's been a little high, so I gotta do the low sodium.
It's like an energy vampire bit from what we do the shadows.
But, and the thing is, like, the voice acting is so phenomenal. This faceless character that you wouldn't know what he looked like unless you Google him. You become so attached, and you believe you believe the world you see through his eyes. Nothing, like, it's all larger than life. It's all ridiculous. It's all very Metal Gear Solid. But dude, like, that ending, man, like, I literally held back tears for the entire credit sequence. And then when we saw the post credits, I was like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, it was good. It was really fucking good.
It was very good. 10 out of 10. How many spank me mommies out of 10? I don't know. That's not a good measuring stick. We need a good.
I give it
scale.
10 out of 10, like in Red Rockets.
9.8 out of 10. I don't know. Like, I'm on the spot. I can't think of anything. Can you guys think of something for me, and then just do like a robot voice, like edit it in afterwards?
9.8 out of 10.
Don't steal it from me.
Oh, do you have one? I was gonna say merchant folds that are probably full of stuff.
I was gonna go with Chernobyl feet in my back pussy.
I was gonna go with 10 out of 10 big fish mussies.
Yeah, that guy was disgusting.
Yeah,
yeah, he's got to do something about that belly button. Like, number one, cover it up. Oh my God, I'm tired of looking at it. Jesus Christ.
But also, like, I felt so bad killing that guy because he was like, "Mommy," just like, this guy definitely cranks it to stepmom stuck in a dryer porn. Assuming he can.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking about the merchant.
Oh no, I was talking about the fish monster.
Moreau, yeah. At one point I was talking to the merchant, and like Ron was in bed looking at her. She was like, "That's a fat motherfucker." And I was like, yeah, he's a big guy.
Literally looks like they based him off of like Ben Stiller in a fat suit from Dan to Dodgeball. When he's just eating. That was classic.
Do you think anyone's made a TikTok of milkshake with the fucking merchant yet?
No, but you should.
I don't want to have TikTok. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, we're all in agreement that we're all like too old and like in like, what's the fucking word? Ichabod Crane, like bah humbug about TikTok, right? Like we're not
wrong, bitch.
doing it.
I don't like regularly go on TikTok, but if somebody sends me a TikTok, some of them are great. Some of them are hilarious.
A lot of it's people
Some
like
of them
lip
are
syncing
informative.
and like lip sync cringe though, right?
Like
Yeah.
80% of them, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, boys. I think that wraps up the Resident Evil 8 conversation. We are running long.
Yes,
That's okay though. We've had a good night. I missed recording, and guess what? We're gonna get to do it again real soon.
Real soon, a couple
Because-
days.
Because couple days, next one. Boys, this was episode 30. We didn't really discuss that. This was kind of a milestone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We've currently gotten definitely north of 60 hours worth of rambling out there. I would say
Yeah.
probably closer to 80 with all the 2.5-hour podcasts and the watch-alongs.
Mhm.
Yeah. We never shut the
You
fuck
know,
up.
We never shut the
It's
fuck
not our
up,
strong point.
and we tell the same fart and cum jokes over and over. And we hope that you'll continue to hang out with us for
Please.
another 30 episodes. Please do.
If you've enjoyed our cum and fart jokes thus far, just hit that new game plus button, boys. Stick around for another 30.
I like that.
Yeah.
I discussed this with someone the other day, and maybe we can do this. Maybe not for the next episode, but we had early on discussed changing the intro a little bit before the theme song pops in,
Mhm.
like every 10 episodes, and we
Yeah.
never did because we're all old, forgetful men. So if we can think of something else to swap in, we'll do that soon.
100% the alert noise from Metal Gear Solid when they see you. That little what? You know?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pretty short,
well-
but we'll work on it.
that's what she said. All right, that's gonna wrap her up. Derek, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Twitter. You'll notice I haven't been saying Twitch anymore because, guys, I don't really stream anymore. It's just not.
That's fine.
It's not in my wheelhouse anymore. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD. I'm sure on my P break we already plugged our The Cynical Nerd Twitter, where we're actually finally, after 6 months, being active. So, as Scott said, any meme made about an Academy Award-winning movie, you can probably assume was me.
Fair. Scott, how about you? Where can everybody find you at?
I'm just real bummed that Derek's not streaming anymore.
Yeah, it'll happen again one day, I'm sure, but,
Mm-hmm.
He's got to prepare. He's got things coming up.
yeah. Like a human
Yeah.
baby, yeah. It's going to be all covered in that gross shit when he comes out. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, at least it won't be in
Yeah.
4 separate jars. It'll have that going for it.
Oh, true. You're already coming out on top a little bit.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it won't chase me down a hallway and give me nightmares.
Yeah. Ugh, yeah.
Can we talk about how that was
God.
the fucking scariest part of the game, right?
Just
Oh my
terrible.
God,
Just
yeah.
the worst.
I saw a meme that said, remember Sync Baby from PT? Well, this is him now.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
Don't you feel old? You can find me on Twitch and Facebook Gaming. I'm Swearwolf with an E. That's SWEARWOLFE. And I'm probably going to stream Resident Evil Village at least a few more times through and just be a slut for achievements.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. I am still streaming on the reg. However, to no one recently. It's been very quiet. That's okay, boys. We stream because we love it. Or I stream because I love
You
it.
stream to me.
To you, to some other
To
people
me
sometimes. No, I we were talking about it in chat earlier. I like to have a potential audience even to bounce things off of. So I'm just gonna play whatever I want. Unfortunately, that means sometimes it might not be fun to watch. But if you want to stop in and have a fucking chit chat, come have a fucking chit chat.
The other day I jumped in and I said something to you and you responded to me and then I was just getting ready to go to bed and you asked me a question right as I hit X to close out.
No.
And I was like, I should go back in and answer his question, and I was like, nah, he'll forgive me.
I mean, forgiven.
All right, thank
Totally
you.
forgiven.
I love you.
This has been episode 30. I think we already had an agreement on the thumbnail. I think it was going to be a Lady D
Yeah.
thirst meme. We haven't thought of a title yet. We're going to have to think of one.
I
But-
liked episode
okay.
Thirsty. I'm into that. I think that might be
so
the
is it going to be episode 30:thirsty?
30 Thirsty.
Thirsty Thursday? 30.
Thirsty.
Thirsty 30.
It is.
We'll spitball this
It is
off
Thursday.
stream or
Yeah.
off stream, off podcast. Boys, thanks for hanging out. It's been a fucking joy as always. I'll see you next time.
See you then.
Chris Redfield's got a cock like a Duraflame log.